Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back.
We
Movies That
are
Don't Suck podcast,
back.
episode 12.
Jeez.
Oh, man, 12 already. And
I would think we would have more just because this is the 12 has been spread out for
I know,
like
it has been. All right,
a
guys,
while.
so co-host for the evening, Frank.
Yes.
What's going
we're
on, man?
back. How we're doing?
You're back? Power's back on?
Power is back.
We're back, yes.
Yes.
Feeling good?
We're
And
not
our-
sweating like a bunch of fucking baboons.
And other co-host, Mike. What's going on, man?
Not much.
You were lucky you didn't lose power.
Fortunately, yes.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. So, guys, just before we start the show, just want to thank all of you. I put the story up last week. As you guys saw, that's why we didn't do a show last week. I said, hey, we had a little bit of a power situation, the storm. A ton of you reached out to me and wished us all well. So I just want to say thank you to all of you out there.
Nice.
For
That's
wishing
nice.
us well. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
That's
all right,
nice.
guys. So, as we always do, jam-packed show. Let's jump right into our first topic.
Go ahead.
We jumped onto Netflix, as we always do, and we decided to watch a little documentary called Fear City, New York versus the Mafia.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
3 episodes, an hour each.
Yeah.
So not like a crazy
It's
long
not long.
thing.
It's easily bingeable. You could watch that thing in a weekend.
Yeah, it's
in
fast.
a night. Yeah.
Very digestible.
What did you guys think of it?
Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The only knock I really had on it was that I kind of just wanted more. I felt like they kind of just
Yes.
gave you a base level knowledge of what was
Absolutely.
happening. And I'm like, okay, I knew some of this I didn't know. But by the end of the 3 hours, I'm like, I learned something and I thought it was interesting. But I kind of wanted them to go a little bit deeper. I felt like they didn't really go as full on as they could.
I agree 100%. And
Yeah.
like when I watched it too, it is a good show. It is
very
a good
good.
show. I got hyped when it said it was from the producers of Don't Fuck with Cats,
Oh, yes, that was another
which
good
is my favorite of these like Netflix docu-series.
That's a great one.
I got excited, but I gotta be honest. Like I agree with you 100%. Like, and it's I can't be mad at it because it's called like from the FBI tapes or whatever.
Yeah, they got it.
I feel like we didn't hear enough. It seems like such an epic story. Like, oh, we're gonna take down all 5 families.
Yeah, at once.
Yes, yes. And all you really hear from is like 2 mafioso guys, and then the rest is like FBI agents. And have you
And
ever
Giuliani.
Seen, have you ever seen? Yeah. Have you ever seen Cocaine Cowboys?
I
Yeah,
have.
those
Dude,
are
it's-
great.
Those are
documentaries.
amazing.
Those are
Especially the
great
first
gangster
one.
documentaries.
The first one, especially,
Yeah.
for the reason that this movie isn't great and what it should have tried to do, is that it got so many perspectives from everyone. You have players in the drug game. You got hitmen.
Yeah.
You got pretty much everybody except Griselda Blanco.
Yeah.
You got all the cops.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
got all the detectives working. You got the news people. You got so many perspectives. I feel for taking down the 5 families, you need something like that. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Most of the movie was the FBI.
So you think more episodes is what they should have
I
done?
think they needed at least 1 or 2.
Because it's hard to,
It's hard to find guys that are going to talk about it.
well, especially
And
in
that's
that world, they're all dead anyways.
Exactly.
They're in jail and they're fucking dead.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
happened in the 80s.
And I have a
Yeah.
thing about and that guy in the documentary, the boxer guy. My father,
A-Light, Johnny A-Light.
I don't know his name. Whatever.
That guy-
But you know what I was talking about. Like people like him. Like I don't like when they're so braggadocious about it. Like like they act like it's
Michael Franzese is the same way. He'll talk anytime.
If you guys, DJ Vlad, he does interviews on
big YouTuber.
on YouTube. He has interviewed both of them a lot, and they have a lot of stories. And stuff.
Franzese for
Where they-
days.
both of who?
A-Light, the guy, the
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 guys-
boxer guy, yeah,
both of them, or-
yes, both of them.
Michael Franzese is
Michael
huge on that.
Franzese, he blew up a couple years ago on Valuetainment, another guy on YouTube who does great interviews. He interviewed
That
him.
other guy that was like well dressed or
Yes,
whatever. Okay.
he's Armenian, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even pick up on that in the show.
Wow.
No. The guy who does the interviews is Armenian.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Valuetainment is the name of the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's Armenian, but he interviewed Franzese a couple years ago, and that's when it came out when he was making $8 million a week during the gas shit. So his story blew up, and I think that's why he was on it. I think that guy kind of maybe produced it, maybe.
I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, maybe he did.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Like you guys said, I wish it was more in depth.
Yeah, like,
just
I
to
was really
piggyback on
hyped
what you
for
guys
it.
were
Yeah.
saying.
And I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought it when I first heard it was coming out. I'm like, this is going to be amazing. And Netflix is known for doing really great documentaries,
Right.
especially the Don't Fuck with Cats people. That
There's
we
a
talk
lot
about.
of them, and like it's funny. Like very shortly after finishing that, it took me like 2 days, I think, to watch that. My wife and I. I found this other new documentary on Netflix called Tread.
I haven't heard of that one.
Dude, it's much better. And
Really?
Yeah, dude. It's not like a 3-part. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, like feature-length documentary.
Okay.
But it's like if it's about this maniac in like the small like podunk town or whatever. And he had like beef with like the local leaders there or whatever. And this motherfucker like made like an armored tank out of a bulldozer and like basically plowed the fucking town. It was like better. It's a better documentary.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it felt. Did you guys feel like it felt a little safe? It felt a little like.
But it just
didn't really
when you say that though,
right.
I just feel like what else could they have? Like what else do we not know?
Exactly.
There's a lot of shit
There's
out there that's
tons of
been out there.
documentaries about all these guys individually. I'll say another thing I didn't know, I never heard before, but one of the mafia bosses, his name was like what I don't know, but Tony whatever, Ducks. As in he ducks all the fucking attempts to catch him.
Yeah.
Fucking great, bro. I love that
great
nickname. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
That was
a great
great.
nickname.
Spilatra.
I like the little individual moments that I really loved that I didn't know the specifics of were I knew that they finally got the RICO laws in place and they could connect everyone to everyone else. So I had known that, but then the fact that they said that they had gotten in these guys' cars,
I
and they
didn't
had
know
gotten
that.
into their houses.
That I didn't know.
Like-
Paulie Castellano is the boss
Yeah,
of all
boss
bosses.
of bosses.
And they got in his house.
They got in cats, and he was standing there like, "I'm gonna fix what was it? His phone, his rotary phone or something." He's like, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
fix your phone and I'm gonna fix your TV." And,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
standing there. I'm
yeah.
like, he was in the dude's house while not just like he snuck in the
Yeah.
cars they snuck into in and out. That was cool. I like that. And then the story with the dog was cool too, where they're like, "Oh, the dog was like right there as they were like trying to get in, and they had to like find a way to get out because the dog." Was,
Oh, yeah.
that was cool. So yeah, it was a lot of like cool,
Just
interesting.
from the
little
FBI's
moments.
perspective, but I want to see
That's-
it from everyone's perspective.
Yeah,
all the information.
I get what you're saying. That would
Yeah.
be a lot. That'd be a lot cooler.
But it's like you said, it's like impossible at
Those
this
guys
point.
are dead, and if they aren't, they ain't
Yeah.
talking. So
Yeah, well, kind of like the Irishman. Remember, eventually at the end, not to turn this into an Irishman talk, they're saying to Robert De Niro, they're like, "You can talk. Who are you protecting? You're all old and dead. Like you're stop. Like just tell us what happened."
That guy Michael Francese says that's not how Jimmy Hoffa died.
I know.
Basically.
He's
In one of his interviews, he said
has
that's
said that.
not
So
how
what
he
is he?
died.
Why doesn't he say? You know what I mean? He's
Well, he's not
basically
gonna
saying like, haha, I know.
yeah.
He's not gonna say it,
What's
but he
gonna
basically
happen to
saying,
him at this point? He'll write a fucking book. He'll be fucking a
yeah,
millionaire.
but I don't know.
The gas thing was great too. I didn't know all the story. Tim was telling me too last week when we were talking about the show. I didn't know the whole gas thing.
Oh,
like that,
dude,
like that.
they were defrauding the government of
Millions and
Millions of
I remember. I
dollars.
like how Michael Franzese said they just were asking like, okay, just we can't prove it. Just tell us how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, please, just tell us,
Yeah.
please. And
Yeah.
they're like, no. And I don't know all the details, but the fact that they got away with that for as long as they did, and they were just making millions of dollars.
you
per
can
week.
commit crimes a lot easier back in those days.
There was
Of
no
course.
technology. Because there was no technology.
There's just no cameras.
Yeah.
This thing is if you're gonna commit crimes, do not have a cell phone
Yeah.
because they'll find you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the
That's
ultimate
it. It's the ultimate
tracker, checker of
Yeah.
log
people.
of everything.
Yeah, people. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're at any given
They
point
still
you can be
find
found.
ways, man.
Yes,
Like there's still organized crime out there. But
of
like,
course,
You know.
but it's a lot different.
Exactly.
It's a lot different, and you know.
Another thing I liked about the documentary was the theme song, Baby Huey, fucking Hard Times.
That was
such
cool.
a great
Dude,
beat.
It is a great song. I was gonna say the beats by Danny over there.
Yeah,
Dan the
dude.
Man. Dude, you should make a beat out of that. It's
The
fucking
Game on
sick.
one of his albums, I think on his second album, The Game. has
See,
that.
like the
Yeah,
one I
The
found
Game
right away
did.
was Ghostface did one with Capadonna and Method
Yeah.
Man and Redman.
Yeah, I
it
think
was,
The Game-
it was dope, but they switched it up a little bit. I think like the original beat is so perfect.
I think The Game has it on the Doctor's Advocate album.
Oh, now we're going to hip hop history now.
Yeah, see, I don't even know.
Nice.
I think that's, and I think Just Blaze made it. But in any case,
Anyways,
So for all you New Yorkers listening too, of course they had to get Giuliani in there, and they talked about how even back then Giuliani was like he wanted to get attention, like he wanted to make himself known. That
course.
this is how he was
Look
going
how
to
much
take
more-
down.
But
Look
look
where
what
he
he
is now.
did.
Look where he is
and,
now.
do you buy into the fact that he
took down the
said
mob.
he did? And did you guys buy into the fact that he said it personally was offensive to him because the whole like
Italian
racism
thing.
against Italian and
Yeah,
like you know
I understand that.
Yeah,
Like
he's
I
a-
don't like necessarily like feel that strongly about, it, but like
yeah.
you know some Italians.
You got three Italian guys here
some
talking
Italians-
about it, so
some,
you
some
know.
Italians feel that that's like a negative stereotype.
It
on
is.
them, you know.
Yeah, so we more
A
our
lot of
generation-
Italians though kind of play it up. There's a lot of
Of course, but
a
that's
lot of
everyone.
a lot
Dude,
of
look what's going on now.
Well, our generation glorifies it more because there's the movies.
But
and
there's a lot of
characters,
people that like just because they're Italian, they think they're in the mob, or
Right.
Of course,
or they're
of
in
course,
construction
of course.
and they're Italian, they're in the mob.
Yeah.
You're not.
Right, exactly.
I get
Like,
it.
calm down.
All
the
I'm
fuck
saying is
up.
I understand like everybody's side of it.
Your last name's got a vowel.
Well,
Calm down.
Italians, especially Sicilians, like early on in New York when they first immigrated
There's heavy
here,
racism.
they were hated on by other Italians.
It was.
Other Italians hated Sicilians.
yeah, because they don't consider them right because they don't consider them Italian.
Yeah.
So I give you a little piece of history there too.
We gotta move on. Here.
Okay, so at the end of the day, it sounds like we all enjoyed it. We thought it was good, but we thought it could have been better for just lack
More
of.
Didn't have the
Yeah.
punch of
Yeah.
Don't Fuck with Cats or even the Tiger King.
That's a great
you know?
point. It did not have the punch that the other big Netflix
Yeah.
documentaries did. So even though we liked it, we think it's worth checking
Similar
out.
thing, which is much better, is Cocaine Cowboys.
Right, I would say
Fucking
everyone go check that
masterfully,
out.
Like, beautiful.
It's way better. It's
Yeah,
way
yeah,
better.
I love
Yeah.
that movie.
It's way better.
All right, so let's go on to the other Netflix that we were watching. After a 10-year hiatus, they brought back Unsolved Mysteries, one of my favorite shows growing up.
Really? Yes, absolutely.
I
agree
love
with
that show. Did you watch it growing up, Frank? Unsolved Mysteries?
Not as much, but,
But you knew-
I knew what it was. I knew the host.
Yeah, Robert
course.
Stack.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Legend.
that's more. That's when I think of Unsolved Mysteries. That's literally who I think.
You think of his voice, right?
Yes.
He's like, "This
Absolutely.
is
Yes,
Unsolved."
him
Mysteries.
narrating
That
it.
is Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
That
That's what I
Unsolved
think
Mysteries.
of.
Not the title Unsolved Mysteries.
That's why I got to give props to before we go into the episodes, the beginning of the show, they give you like a remix of the theme song, which I thought was awesome. And then at the end, Frank, you didn't see this, but right before they show the title of Unsolved Mysteries and they play the song, they show you a silhouette of Robert Stack's outline of his like body to like give him like that
Yeah.
nod, like, oh, okay, we don't have a host,
Yeah.
but we're gonna like honor him because like, he's the true legend behind
Yeah.
the show. So I thought that was great.
Okay.
So I thought it was a really good season. I'm not gonna go into each episode. There's a lot, to unpack here, but I thought a great comeback. Really interesting. They did 6 episodes. They're going to do the second 6 in the fall. They kind of wanted to do a half and half for the first season. I thought it was cool that 5 of the episodes were missing people. That's what usually Unsolved Mysteries is. It's like missing people. What happened to them? They don't find them. Family members are looking for them. One of the episodes was an alien abduction, which I thought was interesting. It was pretty good. But the first one really grabbed me. That's what's great about any of these shows. You have to have the first episode really kick off and really grab you. And it was the one that's called Mystery on the Rooftop. And that's the story of what's the gentleman's name? I think it was Ray Rivera. And he was murdered. He was literally thrown off a roof.
We don't know. We don't even know what happened.
Well,
It's
yeah,
an unsolved
exactly. It's
mystery.
unsolved, but it seems like he was thrown off a roof through a building, and obviously
he crashed through the roof.
Right,
In
but then
spectacular fashion.
But then the scary part is that all his belongings were placed around his body undamaged. So this guy fell like 40 feet through a roof, Frank, and like his glasses and his wallet and keys and everything on him were untouched. So they're like, wow, someone must have thrown him and then placed his stuff around his body. It's a crazy. You got to check it out, man. It's a crazy story.
Yeah, that's kind of
like
crazy.
I was like once because if the first episode wasn't good, I don't know if I was gonna stick with it, even though it was only 6
Really?
episodes. But I wanted to give it a chance. I was so enthralled by this first episode, this mystery of Ray Rivera, this poor guy that was killed. If he was killed, we don't know for 100%. It seems like he was. There's some,
Yeah, no, they said he was like in the shady stuff and.
Yeah, his boss, his friend, who was also his boss, seemed like he
So
definitely.
you guys
was.
think he was murdered?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think he was
course.
So
definitely.
then how did all that shit get down there?
We don't know.
It's probably in his pockets. This guy fell from like mad high and fell right through a roof and made like this tiny little hole.
Yeah, he made a hole.
It's probably
through
in
the
like
other roof.
in his pockets. It just fell out after he crashed on the
It
ground.
seemed like it was placed there, though. They said the way it was like the stuff was like around.
So you're
him.
saying that somebody threw him from up top and had a partner down?
Yeah,
below?
maybe some of the stuff fell out, and they're like, oh, we don't want to leave evidence from where we grabbed him, so let's
Okay.
just put it all. And they didn't think far enough ahead to say is, well, they're gonna realize we're placing it.
So
They
you're
didn't
saying
think
that like the guys that threw him on the roof grabbed his stuff from the roof and went down to where
probably
he died?
because there was probably a struggle, and then they grabbed his stuff from the roof and said, oh, just
I
put it
think he
down
was
there.
thrown from a window.
Maybe he was.
Said, yeah, because that was a long distance to be. They talked about that in the show. Like
It was
the
a huge.
distance-
Was it like 50 feet or something?
It was a ridiculous distance.
Oh, it was crazy.
But, and he wouldn't have. They also floated the theory about him being thrown from the parking garage, but he would have never. There wasn't enough height to make enough force to crash. through
And all the
roof.
cameras were out, which was strange. It was another one of those things where the cameras weren't working near this hotel.
Oh, Epstein-esque?
Yeah, very Epstein-esque. And
and the fucking the Vegas shooting esque.
and
Yeah.
I heard,
yeah.
the guy also had ties to like he was a failed Hollywood screenwriter, and he left like hints behind of like Illuminati stuff, and he was like leaving symbols, and he wrote a bunch of stuff. Very similar to the movie. You guys ever seen the movie The Game with Michael Douglas?
Yeah, David Fincher's follow-up to Seven.
Yeah, they said he left like a weird like amount of clues and hints behind of like what could have happened to him. It's a fascinating story. Anyone who wants to check out Unsolved Mysteries, I would say at least start with this episode, Mystery on the Rooftop. I was at that point I was like, okay, the show grabbed me. I'm on board. I want to see what's going to keep happening. I thought it was really good. The second episode was what the heck was it called? It was called 13 Minutes.
The barber, the hairstylist.
The hairstylist,
lady.
yeah, a woman who literally disappeared within a 13-minute time frame when she answered a phone
That's
call.
what that was like the thing that they didn't know, like the one moment of time.
Yeah,
13
exactly.
minutes that they didn't know where she was.
Right, they were tracking her to a certain point, and then there's a window. And this episode I didn't find it as intriguing, but I again found it interesting enough to say, oh, okay, I'm interested in this. I want to see what continues to happen. It's
Right.
Because they actually found her body 2 years later.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, they found her like yeah, they did. No, they did. Well, that's the thing. A lot of these episodes are just so compacted. There's a lot going on in each one of them.
How long are they?
They're like 40 minutes each. 40,
Oh,
45
so they're
minutes.
not terribly long.
No, they're not long. They get right to the point, and there's no narrator. That's the thing. Some people complain.
That's the problem. That's what I was waiting.
See, yes, that's one of the things people complain about.
They
There's
should have
no
had like
narrator.
Morgan Freeman or something.
Yeah, so they have
It's
to
too
do stuff where it's like
expensive.
where they're like
Netflix
recreating
throws the
everything.
money around
Yeah,
all
that's
day.
what I'm saying.
True.
Netflix got it.
They give you all this stuff on screen. They tell you like 3 days later, 4 days later. They do the dramatic reenactments with the actors. They show you, but they can't like again. There's no narrator, so they have to have all the talking heads of the people in the families explain to you
That's
every
what.
step of the way.
That must suck.
Yeah,
It's not the same.
it's not the same.
How do
It's
we know
not.
they're not actors?
Oh God, I don't even want to say that. Well, I think you can Google these stories. They actually newspapers
yeah,
and
maybe.
they happen.
Yeah.
And I heard with the Ray Rivera case, they're getting a lot of calls. People are like looking into it. There was a lot happening. So yeah, the second episode was good. Not as interesting, but I enjoyed it. And again, like I said, I don't want to go through each episode, so I'll just ask you, Mike. Did you end up watching the third episode, which was the House of Terror with the French subtitles?
No, I didn't. I watched like 5 minutes, and I had just watched those first 2 episodes right before that, so I was already, that amount of time into the whole thing in one sitting, and I was done. I mean, you
were mysteried out. You were mysteried out.
No, I mean,
That's
like,
good
look. I was talking briefly about it earlier, but
Mm-hmm.
those kind of shows, like what makes Unsolved Mysteries is the theme music, and I disagree with you about like the remix being awesome.
I thought it was good. It's not as good as the original. It was good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
you
fine.
know, it's a remix of the original. And I guess that's something they got to do. So I'm not gonna fault them too much. But what really makes Unsolved Mysteries that show is Robert Stack.
I agree.
And
He's
and
so
his
good.
voice and
Was
his
so good.
story. Like him telling the story. It's creepy. He's like a haunted house guy or something like that. Those shows are like a dime a dozen now, dude. You can find like any types of those shows on Discovery on ID or any of those other shows, the murder mystery shits that are
Cold case
documentaries,
files.
all those. There's
kind of
100
shit.
of them.
Forensic Files.
Yeah, and you just gotta find a crazy story or whatever. And that first one you talked about is interesting because this dude fell off a fucking roof through another roof.
I love the French one though. The French one was good.
Yeah, you told me. Like after I told you I turned it off during that show, you said I should have stuck with it.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt. I'm sure like those other stories or some of them may be interesting or whatever.
I'll admit to you, when I started the episode and I saw it was going to be all in subtitles because it's all in French, I was like, all right, I'll stick
mind
through it.
subtitles
I-
ever.
At first, I was like, okay, I'll stick with it. And then you realize that it's the story of this guy who like murders his entire family and then like gets away with he just literally got away. He went off into the mountains somewhere.
Subtitles don't bother you guys?
Not at all. Like, no, because if you don't watch subtitles, then you're keeping yourself from seeing a lot of phenomenal movies.
True.
Yes, that's true. I'm not disagreeing
I'll tell you the
with
trick. If you get a video on DVD or whatever, watch it with the English language track once, and you get a gist of what's going on. Then watch it the second time with the subtitles, and you're getting what really, or for the most part, is what they were really intending to say.
Did you ever see Jet Li's Fearless?
No.
Good movie.
Maybe, I don't think so.
is an awesome movie.
It's an excellent film.
Yeah.
But that's all subtitles. Apocalypto,
Apocalypto's a masterpiece.
a great movie. Yeah.
I could talk
Tim
about
loves
that.
that movie.
I love that movie too.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I watch subtitles, I find myself looking at that and then looking up, like, wait, what the fuck is happening?
Same thing for me.
It depends on
And-
the movie.
and
if
that
it's a dialogue-heavy movie, it's difficult if you're watching it for the first time.
So I don't love subtitles. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, no, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah,
for
no.
sure.
You know what would be cool though? Maybe they have that fucking. Doesn't Google have something you put in your ear? and you can hear.
Probably.
Oh, I'm sure they. I'm sure they.
probably-
I would
probably do.
actually do that.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Danny, you know anything about that?
I haven't heard. Yeah, I haven't heard of that either. That
I
would be
think
cool.
Google has something
I'm
where
sure they
you
do.
could speak into
that
something.
technology exists for
It-
sure.
Yeah, it does exist. I would then maybe I'll fucking Google a movie.
Yeah,
You know,
that would be cool.
that'd actually be pretty cool to do.
So the last thing I'll say to you guys is one of the other cases, they literally have gotten so many calls and research on it of a guy missing that I read this a couple days ago. They re-exhumed the body of the guy who died like 16 years. It's been 16 years since he passed away, and it was like the 4th or 5th episode. And they're re-exhumed because they got so much information from all the people checking in on this. That's another thing that's so cool about a show like this too, is that people can actually help like figure out what happened. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's not cool if you're the criminal.
No, definitely not.
It's like I got away with this shit. Come on,
Yeah.
Netflix.
So, but think about that. They re-exhumed a guy's body from the show 16 years later. How crazy is that?
It's gotta be disgusting.
Yeah, that's
It's gotta smell.
Yeah. All right. So definitely enjoyed Unsolved Mysteries. I'm looking forward.
Would
to
you
seeing
guys
the second
recommend it?
one. I would 100% recommend
So
it.
1 and 1.
Right, yeah.
Alright.
When the next 6 episodes come out in the fall, I will be there.
I don't know if he will.
Yeah.
No.
All right, guys. So let's move on to our second big topic of the evening. This is a big story that had come out about 2 weeks ago. There's a big partnership going on between Universal and AMC theaters, and suffice it to say, many people are not happy about it.
AMC's trying to save their ass probably because they're fucking.
They're in trouble.
They're
Yeah.
going bankrupt.
So basically, for those who don't know, the basic outline of it, and Mike, you're the film, movie house guy. Basically, the way they're outlining is that Universal went to AMC and said, "Hey, let's shorten the theatrical release window, which everyone knows is about 90 days, 3 months. Let's shorten it to I think it's 17 days.
It feels shorter than 90 days.
It is, yeah, it's 90 days. That's like industry standard. It
does.
does."
It used to take a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
and they said, okay, let's shorten the. And then AMC's going to think, well, what benefit is that to us? Well, they're saying we're going to put it on a stream service, on our stream service, and AMC, you can get a percentage of it, and that's all well and good. But I'm going to give you guys the 5, basic outlines of this deal, and you can see why it's just so crazy and why so many people are pissed. So the first rule of this deal that they proposed was AMC will obviously, of course, show Universal films. Number 2, 17 days after release, Universal can put the movie out on PVOD for premium rental of $20. That's what PVOD is, premium for $20. Number 3, AMC gets 10% of Universal's PVOD rental revenue from that movie. So they're figuring, oh yeah, the window is shorter, but we're going to get 10% of their streams. Okay. So then number 4, the film cannot go to a streaming service or regular rental for $3 to $6 until after the 3-month window. And then the last part of the deal was Universal can wait longer if they want to put a film out on PVOD. So basically, if a movie's doing really incredibly well, and they're like, well, we don't want to do the 17 days. We're going to keep keeping it out every weekend, let the movie keep making money, and then we don't have to do it. It doesn't have to. So they're basically saying they have the option for the 17
What
days.
about Regal? And what about,
Okay.
Well,
So
all
that-
these other theaters
they
Okay.
mentioned that in the.
they're gonna be, well, where the fuck's our fucking deal?
Right. So that's a great. Thank you, Frank. That's a great point. So everyone's saying like, oh, it's great if AMC wants to do this with Universal, but is Universal only going to put Fast and Furious and Jurassic World in AMC theaters?
'Cause
no,
it's- yeah.
no. Yeah. So they would have to get this deal with every other chain on board because you're not going to limit the amount of theaters that you put your movies in.
As of right now, the only way to get your movie shown is through AMC. As far as like what their all the plans are concerned, they seem to be the first ones that are saying they're going to open, which was like an announcement that
Yeah.
they just made.
They said they're definitely opening next week.
Okay, with 15 cents a ticket
50
first day.
First day. They're
But
celebrating
that's
their
for.
centennial.
But if you read the fine print in that, that's not for. They said that they're going to release Tenet and New Mutants.
Yes.
Finally dumping New Mutants out there.
Oh,
after
yeah, we're
all
gonna
these
talk about
years.
that. Yep.
Dusted it off. The 15-cent thing is like for old movies, like Empire Strikes Back. They're going to show
Yeah,
and
Black
like
Panther, I
a
think,
bunch of
was
like
another
old
one.
ones or whatever. So
That's a cool deal.
So like, what's it called? What's the theater in Yonkers on Central Ave? Alamo.
Alamo.
Yes,
Yeah, so it's like Alamo.
Right. Special, like a special.
Like old movies.
Yeah, like
Alamo
older-
plays
Yeah.
old movies all the time.
yeah, for
Yeah,
cheap,
yeah,
for like
yeah.
$5 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, you used to be able to. I don't even know. It's probably easier now with digital or whatever. But you used to be able to rent a film print of a movie.
Really?
Like you could call it a studio, Columbia Pictures, Sony,
Yeah.
and say I want to rent a print of Ghostbusters. and they will like if you work it out or whatever, they'll send you the film print.
Oh, that's cool.
It's probably easy now. It's probably just play DVDs.
Yeah.
Mike, you can speak to this. So, the AMC tried to work this deal, and there's a group. There's like a group of theater owners called NATO, a North American Theater Organization.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's like the theater union, and they're all pissed at AMC because they're saying, whoa, you went off and made this deal without consulting with us first, because AMC, because Universal should have went to NATO first and said, hey guys, well, let's make a deal where we can figure this all out together and shorten the release window and everyone can get a piece of the pie and work it all out. But instead, Universal was smart. They went to AMC first because they know AMC is in trouble with all the financials going on. Yeah, and they said, hey guys, let's go work a deal. That'd be the equivalent of like one of us saying, oh guys, I'm gonna go work a deal over here. I'm gonna go work the deal, and I'm gonna come back to you and say, oh here, join this horrible deal that I made. It's like, no, you got to go to your team first. And the funny part of this too is that, remember earlier in the year, AMC and Universal had a little war going on because Universal put Trolls out on demand without telling AMC in the theater. And they said, since Universal didn't want to tell us any of this, we've decided we're never going to. AMC said they were never going to show Universal again. They were so angry at them. They said we're never going to show Universal film again because you didn't keep to the agreement with Trolls.
Yeah.
So that was a whole problem there. Now all of a sudden they're like partnered up, and now it seems just so weird that this would come together.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say, or in that article, did they also mention that like other studios were not were upset with Universal? Or
no one seemed to be upset with Universal. The NATO was upset.
Okay.
With AMC.
Well, I think that at least AMC is trying to adapt with the times. You know what I mean? Maybe they see the writing on the wall. Look at like movie theaters. It hasn't changed since the beginning.
It hasn't at all.
You know what I mean? Like, technology, like, better sound here, better picture here, 3D. That's how theater business since the beginning has changed. Finally, there's no more time that could...
Well, they got to do something because everyone's fucking feeling like... Everyone's in a bad position. Universal, every movie theater,
at least they're trying
every movie company.
Point.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm still not going to go to the fucking movies. I'm not even gonna go.
Well, you think just in general, or because you're for under the corona, like what?
Well, why would I go to the movies? It's gonna be out. I could watch it at home.
Yeah.
How many movies? And how many movies you really want to go see?
Yeah.
I'll see
exactly.
Tenet in the theater.
That's what I've said.
I'll see Tenet in the theater.
Yeah.
But I don't like.
Depends on how much it's gonna cost. Another AMC article that I read was that AMC is going to pass the cost of like being COVID safe onto the customer. So how much is it going to cost to even see a movie now? Over $20 a ticket for an adult.
Did you hear about that, Frank?
What?
They said, oh yeah, we're going to all the COVID like processes and all the safety and protection that AMC is going to take on.
They're going to pass
they're passing that cost on to you.
Yeah. Well, who's surprised?
Yeah. So they're going to do you think it's already enough paying for popcorn and soda and all that?
Alamo's.
Yeah,
I like Alamo's little thing that they're trying. Did you read that article?
Which
Alamo Draft House?
Oh yeah, where you have the team all come up.
You can rent they're not doing it here in Yonkers. They said they're only doing it in 2 locations, but you can rent a theater for up to 30 people for $150, but you also have to agree to buy $150 worth of drinks and food. So $300 if you have like a few people with you to rent an entire
Which
theater.
isn't a lot of money.
No,
at
if
all.
you got people to break it up with you and you're still getting drinks and food with it, you have a theater to yourself, I think that's a pretty interesting idea.
How much money do you have to spend?
300.
Oh, 300?
150 for the rental of the theater and 150
for
food and booze.
Yeah, dude.
Not
I go with my girl to Alamo and I'll spend fucking $80, $90.
The food is
go
so
anywhere,
expensive at
it's
Alamo.
ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's not that bad of a deal if you get a whole theater to yourself. You're like,
It's not bad, and I like Alamo.
I do too.
I like Alamo.
I'm a fan.
No, Alamo's good. We're lucky to have one around because it's not really.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I knew about them before I moved up here, and when I moved up here and realized there was one right there, I was
Danny's
like,
a big fan.
I didn't know that one existed here. I found them in California.
Right, exactly.
They're originally out of San Antonio.
Yeah, they're
right?
a South Midwestern brand.
There was one in Dallas, Texas, next to my hotel. Literally, I could walk to it from the hotel I was staying at, and I was like, "Wow, it was fucking."
That's
it was
big.
big.
There's 2 of them here. There's one in Brooklyn. Did you know that?
Yes,
there's one in Brooklyn.
I went to
Yes.
see the Joker at.
Oh, that's where you saw it?
A
Really?
yeah,
Cool.
a buddy of mine came up from Florida to visit family in Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
The weekend Joker came out, and I'm like, dude, when you come up here, I won't watch Joker. I'll wait for you.
Yeah.
Go see it, and
That's
we went and
cool.
fucking saw it over there. It's pretty cool theater too.
That's cool.
They have a sick bar over there. It's like weird shit all over the place.
Yeah,
That's
well,
cool.
Brooklyn's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I haven't been there
Yeah.
too much.
So
Especially Bushwick.
That's true. I'll say to you guys. So I think what they got to do is, if they're not going to get all the, and that's another thing. Regal came out and said, like, we're not doing this deal. They said it'll be a cold. I think the quote was, it'll be a cold day in hell when we ever do this deal and shorten our release window.
Yeah, I mean,
so this is, again, we're talking about it's most likely 90% not going to happen, but it just goes to show you the moves that are being made.
At some point, there's gonna have to be some changes to the structure of the way
I
they
agree.
do business.
Yeah,
Bottom line.
yeah,
The
yeah.
90-day
And
window is
I
gonna
think
change.
AMC and Universal both kind of recognize that, especially since Universal is not Disney. You look at Universal; they have a couple billion-dollar franchises. They have Jurassic Park, and they have
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious,
And they have Minions. I don't know if it's billion, but it's pretty big. That's like a
but
big
it's a kid's thing. Yeah.
Right.
Good point, though.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So they have a couple of them. I think Disney's trying to make their own thing to show their own movies. So maybe Universal sees that,
Yeah,
and they're trying to
do that.
do the same.
What's up? What's up, Danny? You got something going on?
Did you hear that studios can now own theater chains?
Oh yes, it was part of those bylaws that were that
I
was.
did not know anything about this. See,
Yes.
this is what Disney's
back of your
doing.
head.
Yes,
No, boy.
I heard about that.
So the Paramount decree got repealed.
Yes, the Paramount. That's what it's. Yes,
Now movie theaters can be bought by
studios, which is insane.
It's a yeah.
That's
so-
a fucking monopoly.
Of course.
yeah.
Our guys, our late arrival to the show, Tim.
I come bearing gifts.
You come very. Ooh, that looks good. Show that off in the camera.
Well, not pre.
Oh man. So yeah, we were just in the middle of the Universal AMC thing, and just this horrible partnership that they're basically saying it's gonna ruin the entire industry because they're trying to shorten the release window. Because everyone knows it's the 90-day window, and now they want to get it down to 17 days.
And then
But
release it on demand,
Yeah.
rental.
So-
But it's, listen.
it's not gonna happen. You can't
It's-
get. You
I
can't get all the
don't- I don't-
chains.
they're not-
Regal said they're never gonna do it.
They're not gonna do it. All the movie companies are gonna say, "Well, wait a second. We have to make a fucking deal now."
Yeah, and then
Not
this
just
too-
Universal.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Every,
There's
every,
something we didn't think
every
of. If every movie company is going to take a percentage, what is the studio going to be left with? If you give 10% to AMC and 10% to Regal and 10% to Alamo, and only, well, then what's the point of you giving a piece of the pie to all these?
This is
They're going
that
to end up with
moment.
nothing.
This is that moment in the movie industry, and you can speak to this, I'm sure, where the same moment happened in the music industry when that shit, like with
Napster.
Napster,
Yep.
that was the beginning. This is that moment for the movie
Yeah,
industry.
we've been saying this every week. It's
Yeah.
and amazingly things are happening so quick. I don't know if you guys got into the Mulan stuff.
No, we'll get to next. Yep,
But it's crazy.
it's beyond.
And it's hard to see. I was reading up randomly today on because I sent you that Blockbuster clip.
Yes.
An old Blockbuster ad.
Yes.
It was a commercial from 2007, and it was pitting. It was Blockbuster's commercial, and it had
Trying to
Netflix.
beat
in it,
Netflix,
saying,
yeah.
This is what Netflix offers. This is what Blockbuster offers.
Really, and this was a Blockbuster commercial.
Ad,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
2007.
That's
And that was a good ad. It was
So it was
enticing.
good.
They sold it pretty well.
And so basically, the ad was we do the same thing as Netflix does, except if you want to return the movie early and don't want to wait in the mail, you can drive to the store, drop it off, and get a new movie.
Right, Netflix. People don't remember. Netflix was all about the mail back
Yeah.
then.
So I just from a business point of view, I just was curious, and I always knew that Blockbuster turned down the $50 million deal.
Yes.
Netflix called Blockbuster
To buy them.
We're struggling. We're
Yep.
$50 million. That was in 2000, and they turned it down.
Yeah. And then Blockbuster had that trouble too, where they just didn't have the infrastructure for the online.
Now there's only one Blockbuster store in Alaska.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you want,
make
we'll
it,
go.
you rent it out as an Airbnb now.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah, they
We
turned
should
it
do one of
into
our
an
shows
Airbnb.
from there.
I would do that.
You want one of our
I
shows
would
from
do
there?
that. Get no internet over there.
How is this tying in with that? Is basically I was reading it, and Blockbuster was on like they could have made the right decisions to beat Netflix.
Absolutely, they could have.
If they can go back in time,
They could have
They
positioned
could beat
themselves.
Netflix. They were on the
Yeah.
case. I read they had 45 million online subscribers
They-
at one point.
Did they have that many?
Yeah, I was reading up on it
Wow,
today.
I didn't know it was that many.
They had 45 million households subscribed some
That-
way to Blockbuster.
That might be the biggest, like,
they were. I always thought they completely blundered it, and they were like.
In
they
some
never
ways, they
cut out.
did.
But they were there, and Carl Icahn was sitting on the board, and he made a really bad mistake.
Carl Icahn was on the board.
Yeah,
I
at
didn't see.
that
I didn't.
time.
Wow, I didn't know any of this.
And they made a really bad mistake. The CEO before them, they got rid of. He sold his share. He was like about we have to go digital, and they pulled out of it.
Really?
They pulled out, and I saw a quote that said like our main competitors are Walmart and somewhere else. Like
Oh, my
Netflix
God.
has nothing to do.
I
with,
remember the Walmart argument.
Yeah, they're like we're not worried about Netflix.
That's a
and then
horrendous
before you know it, but they had more online traction at one point than Netflix did.
No, that's a great point
biggest
because we always say
upset.
Netflix was first to market because we always talk about the stream services. But if you really think about it, Blockbuster was been there for years before. They had
And I was surprised by that number. They had a lot of.
Oh, I didn't never would have guessed that
subscribers.
number. You 45
and
million.
they really fucked it up. So
Dude,
timing
there was a
this is
Blockbuster everywhere.
That pivotal moment that you're speaking of is now, and what's the right decision to not fuck it up?
Yeah.
And those.
Well, there's obviously these are the early stages of these deals. Like you never know what it's really gonna be in the end.
I believe Regal though. Regal said it'll be a cold day in hell. They're not going to join that deal because it doesn't make any sense.
Until
have
another movie thing,
Like-
they make a deal. Another deal happens, and another deal happens, and you're sitting, you're like, well, what the fuck am I doing?
And I don't know what the numbers are, but I heard recently somewhere that like Trolls ended up being like
Trolls was
huge. Deal
Trolls was
for-
huge. One of the biggest on-demand movies ever.
Yeah.
Made over 100. You guys know Trolls made over $100 million on demand.
Get the fuck out of
multiple
here.
platforms, just
Yeah,
renting
anywhere
it.
you want, you can go watch Trolls. Because remember, that was the whole thing where Universal and AMC were mad at each other, and they said they were never going to play another Universal film again because they didn't tell AMC, we're not putting this in theaters now. We're just going to put Trolls at home. And obviously,
That was like the original, the OG of like
yeah,
going to the streaming things
It
for
was.
this whole big experiment.
exactly. So, guys,
They waited to the end of quarantine though, too.
They did.
Well,
They got some play in the movie theaters, I think, before, didn't they?
I know. I think.
No,
Trolls
I
went
mean
straight to-
like AMC and Universal, like these deals, they should have made deals a while ago.
Well,
everyone's trying to hold on.
the dirty little secret, and like Disney like did this shit all the time in the movie theaters, is like if they got something big coming out like Star Wars, okay, there was a very public fight between Disney and Tarantino with Hateful Eight.
Yep.
In the first
about the release. Yes, I remember that.
Because Disney will do this thing, and I seen them do it when I was working. You know what I mean? And the guy who deals with the studios is called a film buyer, and I see them deal with him. Them doing it with them, where they'll be like, okay, we want to give you our movie, but you have to play it for X amount of weeks, and you have to give us like the first week we get like 80% of ticket sales. The second week we get 70%. And every week that goes on, you see how it goes. And they'll tell you, be like, oh, well, we don't want to run it for 6 weeks. We want to run it for 4 weeks. They'll be like, no, you got to run it for 6 weeks. Otherwise, we're not going to give you Toy Story 3 or whatever the next big Disney movie is. And that's like the dirty little game all the studios play with each other to get them dates up or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was Disney did that thing with Star Wars very publicly, where Tarantino wanted to show his 70 millimeter roadshow thing,
Extra
of,
wide screen.
yes,
Yep.
A Hateful Eight, and Disney told that very famous theater, I think it was a Cinerama or Cinedome.
It's in L.A. Right?
Yeah. And they said if you don't fucking
Was
let
the
us,
Chinese theater? Was it that
Yes.
one?
Yeah. There's a China. Yeah, that's one
the
of the big
man's
theaters
Chinese
now.
theater
Yeah.
is a big.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. I think it was a Cinerama like Cinedome thing.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. You could be right, but
Yeah,
regardless, it was a
yeah,
theater in
yeah,
LA, a famous one.
Yeah.
He's like, if you don't play Star Wars on your fucking screen opening day, because they were opening the same day or I think a week apart,
It was a week apart.
and we're
Hateful
not
Eight
giving
was,
you.
It was Christmas.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
You're right. It was Christmas.
And December 18th was.
Okay, you're absolutely
Star
right.
Wars.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely
Star Wars loves
right.
the weekend before Christmas.
So
I'll leave you guys with this last thought. I think you'll all agree. No matter what deal they figure out, I think the compromise they're going to have to make is that theatrical window is going to have to be short.
And in the end,
that 90, they're not going to rock that 90
Things
days.
in the
changing,
end,
bro.
who
Like-
gets fucked? We do.
Yep.
well, now you know, like theater owners get fucked.
Well, they get fucked. But
Right,
I'm just talking
yeah.
about like, we're gonna get fucked. Like, we have to pay $30 to watch a fucking movie
How
at
much
home.
do you pay to go see it in the movies? So if you're buying drinks and food and shit.
Yeah, but I'm going to the movies for an experience.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I'm
bro.
going
with you.
like there's certain movies I'll fucking bootleg it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
No,
that's
that's what people
the
are
point
doing.
I was gonna bring up in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how that.
Because once it goes
that's a
video,
whole
once
aspect of
it goes on demand, it's bootlegged. Sorry.
What would you guys do?
Sorry.
What would you guys do with the theatrical window? What do you think is more fair? Because 90, we all agree, is if they're going to make a compromise that's too long, what do you do? Like, you do the 2 months? You do
I
60
think-
days? You do 30 days? What do you do? What's the compromise?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah.
My opinion is, I think they should if they should put it in the movies, and if it makes money week by week, keep it in the movies.
Oh, and
Wait
have
till
a,
it
have a
dies
flexible
down.
window.
Well, yeah, just wait till it dies down. Once it starts dying down, then put it on demand. Maximize as much as you can.
So maybe do like a minimum. Let's we're spitballing here. Maybe do like a minimum 45, and then any time
But
after
what if
that,
That's
something-
logical for the
because you got to have those first.
That's
What if
logical for
something
the
is shitty?
theaters.
What is something? I mean, like theaters are gonna have to adapt.
They're gonna-
Like I said, like dude, they've been the same since since the crowd thought the train was gonna hit them.
Right,
Get that joke?
1920. Yeah,
There you go,
1920.
thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, exactly. When King
Nothing,
Kong
nothing
was
as
on
much.
screen.
Yes, nothing has changed. You know, they gotta fucking do something. They've tried little things like, oh, we'll do D-box with shaky seats, or
Oh yeah,
3D.
4D and the
Yeah,
wind and all
whatever.
that.
Yeah,
bullshit.
whatever.
Yeah.
All these gimmicks and stuff. But they got to do something. Like I said,
Something,
yeah,
At
it's
some
the-
point, movie theaters are gonna be back to normal, in my opinion. There's just not gonna be that many movie theaters.
I think
I
it's
agree
just
with
gonna
that.
be big Disney buildings
Yeah.
or big,
Small
big
art
AMC
house-
Universal
small art house
pictures.
film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the small
Like
art
we
house
said,
films,
yeah.
they'll just have like little rundown
Yeah,
buildings
it's definitely
somewhere.
changing.
That was like an
Yeah,
old
it's
theater.
gonna be like we said. You're either gonna go and see I want to see a Marvel movie in theaters,
Of course.
Yeah.
or you're gonna go see
Tenet.
like how we went to go see The Irishman. That's
Right.
something I'll always remember.
Yeah.
Right.
But those guys are never gonna be in a movie
Exactly. That
together
was a
again.
great
Yeah.
experience
We went
for
to
us.
the city. We saw it, a week earlier.
Yeah.
So that's an experience.
Oh, we
But
saw it
everything-
3 weeks early because remember
Yeah,
it was 3
a
weeks
couple
before
weeks.
net hit Netflix.
So anything
we
in
were really
between
lucky.
is you don't care about. The thing that the music industry has that the movie industry doesn't is people are always going to want to go see a live concert performance.
Exactly. There's nothing to
There's nothing that
duplicate that.
equates that to. In
Nah,
the
there's
music, in the
no-
movie
there's-
industry.
But that's how the music industry changed. That's like how artists, from what I understand, like make their money now.
It's-
Like the majority of their money.
yeah,
Before
you have
they
to-
used to make them off CD
yeah.
sales.
You
and
you
shit.
have to tour.
They always made money
So,
touring.
They always made money in touring, but your touring has to be ramped up because that's the only revenue stream. And now the label's getting a piece of your touring, but there is nothing that equates to that in.
Labels used to never
movie
touch your merchandise. They
Yeah.
used to never touch your
Really?
shows. Now they touch your show money and your
'Cause
merchandise
that's
sales.
where all the money's coming from.
Because that's how
it's
they
like
make
the
their
internet.
money back.
Yeah, there is no money anywhere
Yeah.
else. I mean,
Yeah.
to make
That's how
money
they
on
make their money
streaming,
back.
You gotta stream. You know,
welcome to this
tens of
world,
millions.
movie
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
so-
So, guys, I think now we have to transition to I think probably our biggest topic of the night, the 150-pound elephant in the room. We all heard about it last week, 10 days ago. It was everywhere. You guys saw the articles. Mulan will be going to Disney Plus for a premium fee. Who would have thought this?
I predicted
Okay.
that.
Well, here's what I was going to say, Mike. You did predict this, but I said it. No, you're out of your mind. You're crazy. That's never going to happen. But guess what? We were both right because I said that you were wrong because I'm like, they're not going to put Mulan. They can't lose the money by putting it on Disney Plus basically for free. They can't do that. But I also didn't ever think that they would ever put a movie on Disney Plus and charge a $30 premium fee.
Why not? They charge
Because
20
you're
for
already paying
Trolls
for
and
the
all those-
service. But Disney Plus has got to be different from those kinds of
I
services where it's just like
guess.
pay.
It's
one
smart for them if they, but
will they make this money back?
No,
No,
absolutely
that's
not.
not gonna
They knew
happen.
that. I don't think they would have made it to begin with, but
What's the budget on this thing? 300.
Okay, so
200
okay,
million.
so we run the numbers. Sometimes I see 250, sometimes I say 300, but we know with the marketing, it's over,
300.
I heard over 300 this movie cost.
Yeah,
because
you've been saying that for the
Yeah.
year they were going to spend 300.
because I
million
heard
on this
even
movie.
if it's 200, which it isn't, all the marketing that they've done already here and China
Okay, yeah.
makes it over 300.
but what's the production budget? The
I heard it's-
marketing is usually
I think it's like 225.
half the
I think it's like
production
250 almost for this movie. So all in, let's just say 300.
That's
Here are the numbers. This is crazy. So Disney had a great week last week, Tim, as you know. 60 million subscribers. Great. They have 60 million subscribers in a year, which is
and the
astounding.
stock went up a lot. Last
Stock
week.
did incredible. So if you do the math, at $30 a pop, they need, we call it 30 million people. There are $30. They need 10 million people to pay for Mulan. That's 1 out of every 6 customers. How are you going to tell me that 1 out of every
It's
6
not gonna
people are going to pay
But
$30 to
what's
see
the most
Mulan?
watched thing they've ever had so far?
Probably
Mandalorian.
Probably Mandalorian, and if
how
it,
many people have watched that?
I think that,
What's the most successful thing on Netflix, and how many people have watched that?
we had that. We had those numbers last week. It was the
Irishman was
biggest
like
movie.
6.
Irishman was number 6. Bird Box was up there.
Oh yeah, we were talking.
Yeah,
about
we were
this.
talking about what's the number one
The
most.
Wrong Missy was on that.
Wrong
list.
Missy was on that list. The number. What was the?
Really?
Old Guard was on there already at
It
67.
was one of those.
It was-
action
I
movies.
think it was
But do those?
No, it wasn't. It was 99 million. It wasn't it Bird Box and Extraction?
Yeah.
So
or-
you said 30 million have to watch Milan to make
No,
it.
no. 10 million of the 60 million have to pay the $30.
because 10 million
$30
times 30 is 300.
is 300 million. So how are you going to tell me that 1 out of every 6 people are going to?
It's not.
And
There's
so that's the
one.
thing. Even I'm going to do it, but guess what? People are going to do the pay-per-view thing where like we all hang out at someone's house and pay the 30 million and watch it like a movie experience. But
You get one watch.
One
for $30.
watch.
no, I heard you own it. You own it when you
It can't
buy
be
it.
one
Really,
watch.
that can't be right.
No, they said
I
they
don't buy
no,
that
no,
for
they
a
said it. They
second.
confirmed it on the stock.
Yeah, so
on the
so
stock
it's gonna
call.
be pirated.
Yeah, so you're,
Like
you're
that,
owning,
yes.
But guess what? You're owning it, but in 2 months they're gonna knock down that paywall, and it's gonna be on Disney Plus as it would be anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Why the fuck am I gonna do that?
well, you'll own it
If you have kids, then yeah, I
but
guess
if
you
like,
say
I would, if it was a
you
Star
shut your
Wars
kids
movie,
up
I
for the
would do
week.
yeah.
it.
Right, or a big Marvel movie.
Yeah,
I
I'd do
understand
it.
that.
Are
Like,
you guys stunned that they put it on there for not just
No.
putting it on there, but for $30? Like you think? I never thought Disney Plus would add another fee to their service.
It's
You're
crazy,
already paying
crazy
per month.
times. We're already doing it.
Yeah,
Not
no, it's
really.
because this is
I'm
a
not- I'm not
first-run movie that
surprised.
this is supposed to be run on the big screen.
Right, we're
Like,
missing out on the big screen
Yeah,
experience.
people understand or whatever. I just don't think there's that many people that.
Oh, I don't think people are understanding. 'Cause
Their
they're mad.
options were do this or delay it for one more year.
Yeah.
Right, dude. They're talking about
That's it.
if they had to do this with Tenet, which they still might.
Much they might.
It's going to cost more than $30.
Oh, I
They're
think
saying
so.
like they might charge $50 for that.
Yeah, that's fucking.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. Sorry.
it's crazy.
There's a
$30 is pushing it.
There's a number that just the principle of it. You say, yeah, this is fucking.
This
like
has to
I
be
know people have
what
said that.
you really
Fucking
want to
movie.
see.
$30 to me is still pushing it.
How many movies a year that like there might be 5 that we're all gonna willing to pay to watch
yeah,
that?
not
like,
many.
Not-
Not Mulan.
Yeah, definitely
Nah,
not.
it ain't
Mulan.
Mulan.
This
Well,
guy,
yeah,
he
hey, guess
gets-
what?
Eric, he
You
can
guys
tell
saw.
us
I did
about
the
it.
Instagram poll last week, and I said how many of you would pay the $30 for Disney Plus. Over like 60 or 70 people voted,
No.
and like over 85% said they would not pay. So is this going to be the huge blockbuster, big on-demand film? Because I did say at one point this might be the biggest stream movie ever because it's Mulan and it's Disney. But with
No.
the fan feedback
It will be-
coming back now, I don't think it's
It
going
will
to be
be.
as big.
It will be
No.
their biggest stream thing,
No, maybe in
probably
China.
on Disney Plus.
Right.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
going to
It's
be
just-
the biggest stream thing ever. No.
It's the $30, right? You think so? I think at
You think
19.
it's
I think
gonna-
at 19.99,
it's
it's a
gonna be
big
their
difference.
biggest thing,
No.
even with that $30 fee.
I think it'll be might be Disney's biggest thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Eventually.
Really.
Not maybe not.
It
in
better
the
be
first
bigger
2
than
weeks.
Trolls. It's got to make more than
'Cause like you
100
said,
million.
in another month or two, they're gonna put it on there anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
they're going to
So
take
at
down
some
the
point,
paywall.
it probably will become the biggest
okay.
streamed thing.
I would wait. I would hold off.
See, I think what happened with Disney is they've already unloaded all this money into the marketing, kind of like a Tenant situation. They've unloaded all this money into marketing.
can't-
They're so
Well,
far
they
deep.
do like funny
They're so-
math that like they combine like what you know
I
like
would-
for how long they have it along with like how many subscribers and they're like, oh, you can work, you'll make their money back this way.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
over
yeah,
this time.
Yeah, well, how many more subscribers will Mulan attract?
People
The
are saying
problem
that,
you're
too.
talking about. You're right. They had when marketing anything, music or anything. You're in deep with momentum.
Right.
To stop it and say we're pushing this back a year, that kills it.
Right. Remember, Mulan's supposed to
You
come out
could
in March.
lose.
We've been talking about Mulan since March.
So
Yeah, I feel you, but
can kill
you
the
can't predict this shit to happen.
No. It's
So
unbelievable.
like
I don't think they have any.
I
other-
think
It's
I
gonna
think the
change
best bet.
everything.
Probably
That's why
this is their
people-
best bet. I think probably their best bet.
Yeah.
Would you have done 30?
I would wait.
They just took the loss. That's what they did.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
finally just said like, we're taking this loss.
They
Let's
don't
take the
know.
L.
You
Take
don't-
the L, yeah, exactly.
You don't know when theaters are coming back. You can't even say a year from
They,
now.
they said
We-
like
we
the
don't fucking
AMC
know.
thing.
I
or
think
whatever.
I think in a year from now, everything will be back to normal. You'll still have
I do
people
too,
who
but then they have like
waiting on masks
the other,
and shit.
The
but
other issue is now you're like fucking up their rotation of like
Yep.
scheduling.
take it
and,
easy,
like,
Smokey. Fuck
Yeah.
up the rotation.
But it is true, though.
like it's just not good. I
So,
don't know.
Tim, what would you have done? Would you have done 20, 30, or would you have waited?
I think 30 is a high price. I think they listen. They
If
have
you're gonna do
fucking,
20,
they
might
It's
as well
gonna
do
depend
30.
on
They
like
have
the
fucking
demand for the movie too.
big accounting firms and financial
Yeah.
guys running these numbers for them, and they decided 30 they'd be okay on. Just off the top of my head, I would think 19.99 sounds like a better price.
But yeah, 'cause
but they ran these numbers a million
Right.
fucking ways.
They
They were charging-
they ran those numbers where they said, okay, what's the most we can get for the most amount of people that will
Yes.
buy it?
What they were thinking was they looked at Trolls and all those other movies. The
And Invisible Man, I heard, did fairly-
They were all
fairly well.
$20 each or whatever. They look at it and they're saying this is a better movie than those.
Right. Premium
and
experience.
I'm sure they've run million of those. When you go in and do a survey, would you watch it for this price? Would you-
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Do you-
They've
do you-
done their
So there's a lot
R and R,
of research,
R and
a
D,
lot.
whatever.
So they this is I trust Disney's numbers on this.
On
more
the
than what
conference
else is.
call, Chapek said this was a one-time thing. Do you guys believe that this will be a one-time
No,
thing?
This is the new trend.
They're testing the water.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: what if this bombs horribly?
Everybody's
What
doing-
what if this doesn't? What if this? Forget making 300 million. Let's pretend that's not even possible. What if
Whatever
what if
number-
this makes
what if-
$100 million?
Whatever number they have in their head.
I don't
if
even
it-
think it's gonna make $100 million.
Whatever number they have in their
That's
head
rough.
that they'll say we're accepting the L and it falls short like 50 million of that,
Right.
then it's
Then it is an
a
experiment
problem.
that will probably never happen again. Okay, put it this way: out of 60 million.
$75 million.
Okay, let's make it even easier. Out
That's
of
just
60
on
million.
purchases, but then you have
Yeah,
to
but-
include new subscribers and.
Okay, so let's say by the time the movie comes out in 3 weeks,
Subscribe to Disney Plus for Mulan.
maybe a million.
Who
million?
don't already have it?
That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Right, like this won't be the thing,
It's
right?
still
that signs
growing
people
a
up.
lot.
Okay, so let's make the numbers even. Let's say in 3 more weeks, when the movie eventually comes out, 2 more weeks, they have 65 million subscribers. Tim, how many accounts are going to order the movie on 65 million?
I say I'd say
For $30.
15% if they're lucky.
Wow, really?
15 to 20%.
I just don't
Well,
think
just
there's
do
that
the
much
math
interest
on
in
that.
this
There's
movie.
60 million.
60 million. Let's say 65. Add more because they're growing every day. So let's say they have 65 million.
I'm going 60 million.
Okay.
And what was the number?
They're-
Times.
0.15.
Okay.
That's 0.15.
Okay.
That's what 900,000.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Hey, this is why we're not a math podcast.
60 million times.
0.15. 15%. That
Yeah,
means
it's
9
nine-
million people will pay for it.
Okay.
That's a lot.
So guess what?
9
we
million
said
times-
10 million would get them to 300. Would get them to
Yeah.
300.
That's $270 million. That's not happening.
So 15%. So 15% is a high number. They're
That's
probably
$270 million.
so they're probably hoping for 5%.
Oh my god. So it's
You
crazy. 'cause
sounded like
they-
you were on Disney's board
Danny's,
right there.
Danny's good with this stuff.
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
like clicking stuff.
Yeah,
what
but-
would your prediction be?
Out of 65 million,
How many people will pay for this?
I don't know, I'd say 10%.
10%.
yeah, that's the thing.
So
it could be 6.
That's
It could
there's
still over
fucking-
two. That's still over
Mickey
two.
Mouse will be fucking kissing someone's ass to get 50% behind that.
They're not
They're-
gonna
they're-
make. They're not
really
gonna
might be
make
three- they might be more
270
3 to
million.
5%.
It's not going to work with this movie, but it could work with a big Marvel movie, or if they ever get Star Wars shit together, or a Pixar movie.
It could work with
60
Pixar movies.
times.
See, I agree with you,
Especially
Tim.
a Pixar
They
movie.
could-
A kids
3.5%.
movie.
They could have did the $20, but they knew it.
3% is 2.1 million.
People buying it.
Yeah, people buying it times
So-
30 is 63 million.
See, I think they, like Tim
I
said,
think they're gonna make $75 million on purchases.
that is
That's it.
terrible.
And
Like
I
you
think
said,
that's
taking the
I
L.
think that's a
Worldwide?
lot.
Is that worldwide or
That's
American?
60. That's 60. Oh no, worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah, 60 million accounts worldwide.
I just don't. I think the problem here is not like. I think it's a movie. I think just people don't care about this movie.
I agree with you.
See, I don't agree with that.
I'm
I
there.
know
with-
you don't.
But
This is
three,
your movie.
but three
But this-
out of
but this was the
four
movie that was
do.
gonna make a
3
bill-
out of 4 agree.
But this movie was gonna make.
I've never seen the original movie.
Me neither.
I did.
I
It's
have.
good.
It's one of
Me
Disney's
neither.
best.
No,
it's one of
it's
Disney's.
not.
It is one of Disney's
No,
best.
it's
No,
not.
you're wrong, bro.
It's a good movie.
It's a top 5 Disney, in my opinion.
What?
Top 5, in my opinion.
If this was,
in my opinion, it is.
If this was Lion King, they'd have a much better chance.
See, I would think that. I think this was gonna, take COVID out of the obviously out of the
Like-
equation. I think it was gonna be $1 billion movie.
No.
Oh, maybe like 900
It
million.
depends on how
They-
much
they-
Chinese audience
They were
liked it.
planning on that because
Yeah.
they're not spending this much money.
Exactly.
And-
Lion King did over $1 billion,
But
and
if
I think this was
was
gonna be about
Lion
that.
King, we'd be talking different numbers. I think.
Oh,
a lot of
we
people
would.
Spend $30
Oh yeah, more
for
people
Lion
love.
King.
Yeah, for people, it's always Lion King, Aladdin, and then Mulan comes after, which that is the third one for me. Aladdin.
We'll see.
Lion King.
I think it's
I
gonna
don't know,
make
I think
75
people like
million.
Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
and stuff better
dude.
than Mulan.
Way past that
Oh,
shit, dude.
well, yeah. Well, they're working on. Don't worry, they're making Little Mermaid. They're making everything for us. That's gonna come. So
I want to see Pinocchio.
yeah, that's gonna be a
They're
good
making
one.
a few of those.
Yeah.
Pinocchio starring Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh man. Yeah. All right, guys. So yeah, shocking move, but let's see how it plays out. This could be a disaster. This could
Well,
be.
you see,
amazing.
like everybody trying different things. You see Disney trying this with Mulan.
Yeah.
You see an AMC and Universal
Yeah,
trying their
everyone's
own thing.
making moves.
Yeah,
Everyone's
exactly.
making
they're
moves, and we're
trying.
gonna
They're
see.
dipping their toes in different waters.
It's gonna be an interesting 6 to 12 months. It really is.
That's a great point, Frank.
It really
Absolutely.
is.
Oh, well, all those Christmas movies are not coming out.
No.
I'm still
All
waiting.
All those things that got
yeah.
pushed to Christmas.
You heard
Oh,
of
forget it. No, no.
Dune?
Coming
Dune?
to
Dune?
America.
Coming to America.
Possibly it could end up on demand somehow.
We never
but
talk about Dune. Dune is being pushed to the edge. If Dune,
there's
the Dune
supposed to be a
remake is coming
trailer.
out.
They're supposed to release a trailer
This
for that.
tra-
soon.
yeah.
How much would you pay for it coming to America too? I'd pay $25.
Oh, easily,
Really?
easily, and it's a
I love
comedy,
it.
so it doesn't have to be seen on a
I,
big
I
screen.
love Eddie Murphy, so I would pay for
Me
it.
too.
But
I would
I'm
probably pay
not-
$40 to see him.
They
come
do
America,
have all the original cast other than the mother
right. Who passed away?
coming back.
Yeah.
On top of like Wesley Snipes is
I'm
in it.
highly anticipating seeing this movie.
I-
It's not gonna live to.
I
live
hope
up to
it's
it
good.
can't.
I hope it's good.
It can't,
Yeah, that's
dude.
what I'm
There's
saying.
no
It's
way.
like Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah, it's first. I hope it's not.
Yeah, don't bring that up.
That might be one of the worst like sequels
Yeah.
ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's bad.
yeah.
But I already know it's not going to be as good as we hope it to
I just
be.
want to see the trailer. The movie's supposed to come out in 4 months, 5 months, and we haven't even seen the trailer yet.
They
Just give me
don't
the
want to.
teaser.
They don't even want to start wasting.
I don't
want to
fucking get teased.
Right.
I don't want to get teased, bro.
I know.
If I'm not
just
gonna,
so hyped for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta do little things with it. Aren't they also releasing Bill and Ted?
Yes, Bill and Ted is coming
See?
to home on demand.
That's a good on-demand movie.
That is a good
Yeah,
on-demand
you're
movie.
absolutely right. Yeah,
It's gonna be $20.
That's a good because I don't
Right.
think it's gonna be great. The first two I loved them. I don't know why. I loved them.
Keanu Reeves factor.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like back in the day when they would do straight to VHS movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you knew
yeah,
automatically
yeah.
it was crap.
Yeah,
crap.
And
but-
it was like lower budget.
yeah.
But that's what it's going to be. A lot of those
Yeah.
movies like kind of gained a big audience and did pretty well. Like
Yeah.
Shot in the Dark. But there were in
Cult
the 90s
followings.
and 90s there was a lot of direct to VHS movies.
Sure.
A lot. And they just
That's
market
true.
it and hope people
Yeah.
fucking rent and buy it. That was like common practice. That's the same
All the
thing.
time. That's a way to save money too on
It's,
distribution.
it's the same principle here. Straight to streaming, straight to VHS. It's the
Yeah,
same
and
thing.
you're cutting out the middleman. Yeah. All right, guys. So let's move on to our next topic. We have our fan questions for the evening, so let's jump right in. Our first question of the evening from our boy, number one fan, Views by Quinn,
Yo,
On
shout
on
out to
Instagram,
Quinn.
hitting us up. He asked us, "What was the greatest, if not one of the greatest years for movies?" That is a great question. Quinn.
1994.
Yeah.
94.
I've heard the question before. You
Yeah,
didn't hear
we
the
do.
question before, so I was kind of doing some research.
Well, let me off the top of my head what came out.
Yeah,
in
throw
94.
something out.
Goodfellas came out in 95.
Goodfellas came out in '90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Casino
Casino came out in '95.
Nin-
What
yeah.
came out in 94? Lion King came out in 94?
Yep.
Lion King,
Yep.
True Lies, Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
Okay.
94 is an
Shawshank Redemption.
yeah.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Big year.
I said 99. I thought 99 was, because
Matrix.
Matrix episode 1,
yeah.
Fight Club,
Yeah.
Fight
Sixth
Club's a
Sense.
masterpiece.
Sense,
it's
yeah.
like, and that's just 4 or 5 right there that are
2019 had a pretty big year.
Last year was a good year.
It might not have been like actual best movies, but
Yeah.
for
They
like
had a good
gross,
variety movie.
It was
of-
Lion King.
Oh, Lion King.
Marvel. There was a ton of movies that
Let me-
came out.
let me
in
see.
19.
Let me just look at 94 real quick. So
Yeah, I'm
you
looking at
got you got Pulp Fiction, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber,
Mask.
Ace Ventura.
Mask.
You got
Nice.
Speed. You got
Wow.
True Lies.
Yeah.
You got The Lion King. You got
Speed, that's right.
Natural Born Killers. You got Clerks.
Clerks, one of my favorites.
Forrest
94 is-
Gump.
Yeah, 94 is great.
You got
Wow.
I said Shawshank.
Did
Yeah, Shawshank.
Usual Suspects come out that year?
Oh, I'm not sure. That might have been 93 or 95. I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
see it.
Yeah,
What
here.
about
Could
Pope
be
of
90.
Greenwich Village? When did that come out? Was that 94?
I think so. I'm not sure. I think it was. You know what came out in 99 also? Mike, you said it. Toy Story 2
Uh-huh.
and Being John Malkovich.
That was a great movie.
That's
I love that movie, actually.
American Beauty.
94?
No, this is 99.
that was
Ma- American Beauty,
that won Best Picture
Kevin
that
Kevin
year.
Spacey, of course.
Great movie. Yeah.
Boys Don't Cry.
That was a good movie.
Controversial but popular. Eyes Wide Shut was 99.
Yeah, even more.
Oh, I think was the Blair Witch Project 99?
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yep.
Yeah. That was a big.
Two-
That was a
cinema.
horrible movie.
Yeah, but it
But
that
it
was that was the most
but
hyped.
it was a big
it did its
anticipated
job.
movie.
Yeah, culturally
If
relevant.
you watched it
Culture.
in the theaters, it did its job and shit. You can only watch that movie once. If you try to rewatch it, it's like almost unwatchable.
Because there's so much found footage shit today.
It changed. That was like the first mega horror movie that I like
It's
Diamond in the Rough. Like that didn't cost a lot to make.
Yeah, the
and-
marketing was
it
unbelievable.
was the
That movie
first-
cost like $100
it was
million,
the first
$100,000 to
viral
make.
movie.
The Little Rascals in 1994.
Dope.
Oh.
I like
Okay.
that.
Little Giants, I fucking love that.
Classic-
Natural
those are
Born
classic kids
Killers.
movies.
Tim, don't forget your
The
favorite.
Crow.
The
Oh,
Crow was
Tim.
great,
Love
yeah.
The Crow.
Wow, 94. 94. takes
Richie
it.
Rich, Blank
I remember-
Check.
Holy.
Those are like
were-
those are like kids
those are-
stupid
but
movies,
those
but
are-
I was like,
those are like classic.
yo,
kids
Blank
movies.
Check, dude.
And
I don't
Richie
know
Rich was
why.
awesome.
Did-
Richie
wait,
Rich,
didn't
you
Home
have your
Alone
own
one or-
McDonald's.
What about didn't
Blank
Home Alone
Check,
1
I
or 2
love.
come out
Mr.
94
McIntosh.
or 92? Which one was Home? Which
First
years?
one
Mr.
came out in
Mac?
90.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Mac.
92.
Okay, and then Home Alone. Yeah, Home Alone
Mr.
1 and 2.
McIntosh.
Yeah, right. See, I know.
94, but 99 is good too.
And
There's a
you know,
lot of
your
good
fa-
years.
one of your
I
favorite
can't
movies,
even-
episode 1 was 99.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like 99 is a good year. There's two you mentioned them both, but there's two like watershed movies that came out in 99. One of them was Blair Witch Project. Like
Yeah.
that there's nothing
Matrix.
nothing like that's the other one.
Yeah.
First of all, Blair Witch was like I said, the first like viral movie. That was like when the internet that
Early
caught on.
internet days.
Yeah.
The AOL days.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was
that-
effective. If you watched it, it was pretty effective or whatever. The second one was The Matrix, which every movie tried to emulate after The Matrix or whatever, its style and
Renaissance Man, Above the Rim, also in '94.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe I think you're right. Maybe
big
94
soundtrack.
might take it.
The 90s had like big soundtracks with all their
Yeah,
movies.
everyone was like it
Those
was a
grungy
huge full
pop-
album.
pop-
Street Fighter. Do you
Terrible.
remember that? It was a
Van
terrible,
Damme.
Terrible
Van
movie.
Damme.
Yeah, Van Damme.
Van
But
But-
that movie
but-
actually made money.
Raul
Yes.
Julia too.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna real quick.
Yeah, what are
like,
you gonna do?
it's
Don't know.
super hard to like. This is a hard question.
Oh, it's a great,
It's
hard,
a great question.
Yeah, Quinn always asks
Quinn,
like, these
great questions,
impossible
man.
questions, but
Shout out.
I was looking at like '84, which has like Ghostbusters and Gremlins.
Oh, Aaron
Aaron,
loves those
you
movies.
know, Indiana Jones. I think
84.
Yeah.
Empire was 80.
Empire's 83.
I think
Jedi was 85.
No,
It was 77, 80, and 83.
correct.
Okay.
Jedi was 83. You're right.
83. Jedi was 83. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
87.
What's 87?
Off the cusp,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
like without like doing too much research. But Arnold's my guy, so
course.
that's the year of Predator and The Running Man.
Ooh.
It has
Love that movie. Running Man.
Lethal Weapon 1
Okay.
in there. It has Fatal Attraction, which was a great crazy movie.
Okay.
Platoon was out, but I don't care about that too much or whatever. RoboCop,
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Part 1. Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
Wow.
Danny, you know it. A bunch of them. Spaceballs, my favorite comedy.
Fucking
of all
love
time.
that movie,
Favorite
dude.
comedy of
I've
all
I've
time.
never seen it.
Gun to my head.
You never seen
I've
it?
never seen Spaceballs. I've heard
Dude,
it's
what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Lost
Mel
Boys.
Brooks?
Yes. No, favorite comedy of all time. If you ask me gun to my head right now, that's what I would answer.
He loves
Spaceballs?
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
the fuck
Swear to
out of
God,
here.
dude, that
I
movie
love
means
that
so much to
movie.
me.
loves
Rick
it.
Moranis.
I love that
He
movie,
was so
dude.
good in that.
I never loved that.
Lost Boys came out in
Uh,
'87.
I love Lost Boys.
Well, you're Tim. You're a big '80s. You love all the
I'm
'80s
an
movies. Yeah.
80s
Indiana
guy.
Jones, Gremlins. You know.
Lost
Yeah.
Boys is my fucking screen name from that movie.
Raising Arizona, which is a movie I love.
Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost Boys, you're talking about the vampire movie, right?
Yeah. Kiefer Sutherland and the Corey
And
brothers.
Jason Patrick's in that movie.
That was
that's the good guy, right?
1987?
Yeah.
That was a great year. I got
Yeah, there's a lot of great years. You know.
I mean, I was born
You
that
said
year,
90.
so.
You said 94,
Yeah,
right?
94.
That is a great year.
Look at all those like great years all
Wait,
bunched up.
when did Sleepers come out? Was that 90?
Oh, that was early '90s.
We don't have those years anymore. I'm
Jason
sorry.
Patrick was in
No.
Sleepers.
Those
too.
years do not exist anymore.
I know.
That was like an awesome. Robert Redford was in that. It
And look how close all these
Brad
years are
Pitt,
coming out to
Kevin
each other.
Bacon,
Yeah.
Robert De Niro.
It was very competitive.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
You've
yes.
seen this is the kids go up to the jet.
Yeah, and they go to be adults. It's like both when they're kids and
Yeah,
adults
yeah,
in the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
That
That movie has it was
It's a fucked up movie.
it's a fucked up movie and
Yeah.
it did really well, but not as well as I think it.
It was like critically acclaimed. It was like one of
Yeah.
those prestige pictures
Yes.
that they hope to like get awards with and stuff like that.
a girl that I know that I dated a long time ago. Her cousin is he's from the Bronx. He's the main kid in that.
Yeah.
I think that was like his
You told me to
first
watch that movie, like, a
He's
year
in
or so
Sopranos
ago.
and stuff too.
Great movie.
But I
Are
think
you
when
talking
he's,
about the Lilo Procado?
no, he's
The guy
Bronx
from-
Tale.
Bronx Tale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
He works out at our
He was
gym.
in Sopranos
does, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
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 No, but this kid was in Sleepers.
He does.
And
yeah.
he was in
He was in Renaissance
he was
Man,
AJ's
too.
friend in Sopranos. But that movie has so many stars in it. I think when that was his first movie. I thought they thought he was going to be like
yeah, De Niro.
set,
you know, of course. Great movie. I remember you told me to watch it a
Blank
couple years
Man,
ago.
A Low Down Dirty Shame.
So what
Those
do we?
are like
So I think we
corny
got.
movie, but I like
I was gonna say.
them.
So what do we
I
go
don't
with?
know
Is it?
why.
It's. I feel like it's 87, 94, 99. Which one do we want to go
Three
with?
Ninjas?
What was
Ha,
that?
ha, ha.
What was that?
94. All those are 94.
94.
So you guys want?
I think 94 got for me.
So you guys.
91
Make,
just had like Terminator 2 and Robin Hood and City Slickers.
all right. So it sounds
Si-
like.
I fucking love City Slickers, dude.
It was good. That was
Sounds
good.
like
Both
sounds
of
like
them.
We gotta go with 94.
City Slickers 2
Two
has
is
one of my
better.
favorite. No. But I don't even think I've seen part 2, but it has one of my favorite teaser trailers of all time. It's just like a suburban street. And you hear Billy Crystal talking, and he's jogging, and all of a sudden you see him come over the hill, and he's jogging with. Remember in the end of the first one where he keeps the calf,
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes. I
He's
forget the
jogging
name of the
down this
cat.
suburban street with a full-grown cow.
Yeah.
Like that calf
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
It was one of my favorite teaser trailers.
He
It
lives
was
in
just-
New Rochelle too. In the movie, he lives in New Rochelle. Billy Crystal.
Oh wow.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I thought
City
I figured he
Slickers
like,
too.
lived in Manhattan.
That's where he
somewhere.
finds him in. Oh, because you didn't see it. In the second one, he finds him. Curly finds
Curly's
him.
Gold, the legend of Curly's
He
Gold.
finds him on the train. commuter train to New Rochelle. And you know who else is in that?
Jack Palance was
Yes.
clearly in that shit.
Yes.
So it sounds like we got to go with 94.
I'm going 94.
All right, I'll go with that. 94.
Yeah. I agree that all three of those were good years. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
87,
Yeah,
94,
you can't really,
99.
like,
87 surprised me. It's my born year.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and those
I'm
weren't
surprised
even
too.
like the ones I mentioned. You know what was the biggest hit that year? And I didn't even mention it was Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I think there was one year in the you can go back every decade. I think there was one year in the 70s when like
The golden, yeah, it's like 76 or 79 or something, where there's like,
Like Taxi or some
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver, Rocky Star. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
them way back in
Yeah.
like Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz. Too.
39,
Like,
right?
they're
when did
both the same.
Raging Bull come out?
1980.
80.
Ooh, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Wow.
78. Wow,
Yeah.
80.
No, they just made it. They filmed it black and white. Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. So Quinn, as usual, great question, man. All right. So our second and
Yes.
final question of the evening is from Behind Curtain on Instagram. He said, "If you could choose one guest from any time period to have on your show, who would you invite?" Like, that's another
Like,
fantastic question.
A movie like in
Anyone-
the movie industry.
Yeah, anyone.
anybody
anyone.
ever.
You could literally pick who would we have on our next show. Who would you want? I have a couple thoughts, but
Just pick
I
one.
guess,
Go ahead.
I guess you got to say
Pick-
dead or alive.
pick
also.
one. Well,
Well,
I
I'm saying
talked to
if
you
any
before the
time
show.
period, I guess that means dead or alive.
Well, before the show, I named two choices. I'm gonna pick one. You said pick one right now. I gotta go with Leo.
I mean, it's not a bad one.
Yeah, I gotta go with Leo. I gotta talk to him about I said to you Leo and Denzel before the show, but I think I
Yeah.
gotta go with Leo because he's a little younger, so he's a little bit more. You could get a little more of the new age of the industry. Denzel kind of is like so entrenched in the old school ways. He doesn't Denzel doesn't need a Twitter, doesn't need an Instagram to keep himself relevant. He's like the king of kings, one of the guys of his generation. I'd want to hear from Leo, just all of his films, just
You
the
can't go.
legacy.
There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no
here.
wrong answer. So
Yeah.
I'm going with Leo. I would kill for an hour of him on our
I
show.
think I
be
would do
amazing.
Samuel L. Jackson because I think he'd be the most
Wow.
entertaining.
That's a great.
I think he'd be
selection.
so entertaining.
And he's been in so many movies.
He's been in so many movies. He's been in so many different kinds of movies. So I think I'd go Samuel.
I'm
That's
going
fantastic
on like,
choice.
Is it
Anyone you want, dead or alive.
is it what? How good of an interview you're gonna get, or
That's
what you
why I
wanna
picked
know from
Samuel
it?
because I think he'd be a great
well,
interview.
think about it.
would
If we
say-
want to
I
have
would
them on
say-
our show, they're going to be a good
yes,
interview.
but
Well,
like
you
I would say,
hope.
like Marlon Brando would not be a good interview. He was known
oh,
to be
no.
like a shut-in.
Oh, no.
Piece of
dickhead.
shit.
He'll give you
Yeah.
3-word answers.
But
yeah.
he would be he lacks so many interviews and stuff that people would want to hear from him a lot. If you can go back and get a good Marlon Brando interview,
So
that's
you want a good Marlon Brando.
you know what I mean? We have to pull the words out of his mouth, but he's
Be like,
a lot of people consider him one of the greatest actors.
he is one.
Yeah,
He is one of the
ever
greatest.
lived.
He is.
There's no question.
But he is also one of the biggest pain in the
Yeah,
asses. And
exactly.
there's like
Yeah.
two documents that I can think of that like
He's a
show
fucking
that shit.
pain
yeah.
in the ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even by the end with some of his
Yeah, I don't want
roles.
to. I don't care. I don't want to deal with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah, I'm
toward the end
good.
of his
I'd be good on
career,
that.
when he did roles like The Score with De Niro, the whole movie he's like sitting in a chair and he's like mumbling through his lines and he's like, "Yeah, we gotta like take care of this thing. Oh, how are we gonna do that? Because you
I
just
saw that
go
in the
do that." I'm
movie
like,
theater.
"Yeah, it's a great
I was
movie."
like hyped
Score.
for that. You think it was great?
Nah,
I
I'm
really-
good
I
on
barely
that.
remember
I'd
it.
be
De Niro
good.
and Norton, great movie.
I'd be good on
They
that.
they build that as the best actors
So
from three
Leo,
different generations.
Samuel,
So, Brando.
Marlon
I
Brando.
mentioned him, but I just think I think he'd be
And
a
then what about you?
Yeah,
get
Mike.
I think
attention.
like I would go based on like what I'm.
I
Gonna
think I know who you're gonna say.
Like who's gonna talk the most about it. It's either got to be in people we mentioned before, Scorsese or Tarantino.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say who? I didn't say Cameron.
Nah, because Cameron's like a dick. You know, like he
He is
doesn't
an
have like Cameron doesn't have time for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
the idea is we force him onto the
and
show.
I respect that about him. He's earned that respect from me. If he says fuck you,
Right.
like I don't want to interview you, I'm like, all right, go make another fucking awesome movie.
Right.
Scorsese would probably be my second.
And he'd give a good-
because
he'd
these
give-
guys are
Scorsese's
like
a-
encyclopedias.
like a sweetheart of a guy. He's like a
Right.
Yeah,
He-
yeah,
he picked two
yeah.
guys that would give great. Tarantino
Yeah, no.
and Scorsese give great
And
interviews.
not only that, they're both like historians.
Tarantino's a little dicky.
Yeah, but he'll
yeah.
give you a good interview though.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if he
What
likes
you
it.
ask? Yeah, it depends on what questions.
Yeah.
you
Right. If you don't ask
too.
him, if you don't ask him
Yeah.
stupid nonsense
Yes.
about like, why didn't you give this person more lines?
But if you get him going, like
He
he'll
has the-
talk about
that-
everything.
What's that interview when he walks off?
There's
What
a bunch
few
of
of
them.
them?
There's a
the
bunch.
English guy was.
Oh, Piers
think it
Morgan.
was-
The guy's like, he's like, you have an obligation. He's like, no, I don't. And he's like,
Yeah.
and I'm shutting you down.
Yes.
What movie was that for?
Kill Bill. It was
Kill
for Kill
Bill.
Bill.
There was one for Django where he.
Django. Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause they were asking
They,
about.
they gave him
race
trouble
and
for
stuff.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood also, where they said, "Oh, how come all the female characters don't have any
Yeah.
lines?"
It's
And Margaret.
always something. It's always something. But the guy makes like great. His shit is so good
Yeah.
that people like gotta just shut up and like respect it.
Yeah. So Yeah, guys. So all right, we picked all like legends in their own field. Absolutely,
There's no wrong.
Yeah, there's
Danny,
no wrong answer.
Danny, who would you pick?
Danny, yeah, is there someone, Danny, that you could think of off the top of your head you'd want to have on the show?
I hope I can guess your answer.
Danny Scorsese.
Okay.
All right, Scorsese. Hey.
If I had to pick someone different, it'd be Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, that's a,
You know,
great
we
selection.
talked
I should've
about
said
him
that.
in like past episodes, and a
He's the
movie we
man.
didn't even mention. I just rewatched it for the first time in a long time the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Was fucking Zodiac.
Oh, I have to watch
So
that.
good.
I need
You
to-
never-
You never saw Zodiac?
I'm not. I have literally
Yeah.
had it on Netflix on my watch list forever, and I've been wanting to watch
It's
it.
really good. Dude, it's
Yeah.
really
I know.
good.
I know.
Really good.
David Fincher, man.
Fincher, yeah,
the
and I
dude,
love
this is
Gyllenhaal.
like one of the best filmmakers, dude. Anything the guy makes is pretty
Yeah.
much
So yeah, maybe I'd
Zodiac's
want.
really good.
So maybe I'd want Leo or Jake.
Jake, it's like Jake might be my favorite actor.
a runner-up for me, and I thought you might say it, Danny, was Kubrick.
I thought, I figured Kubrick too. All right, guys. So one little last thing, since we're done with the fan questions, I just want to go over some news and notes, quick little things that we're going to hit on, so that way we don't have to spend 20 minutes on a topic next time. Some things that have been going on in the industry for the last 2 weeks. Just throw your thoughts out there. So they announced John Wick 4 and 5 are coming out. They're being shot
Not too
together.
thrilled about it.
I'm insane. I cannot. I'm
You love
insanely
that,
hyped.
and I
Love
like
it.
John Wick. I like John Wick.
Yeah.
But after the third one, I think they could have ended it with the third one. Personally,
As long as it keeps making money, they will
I
keep
know,
making
I know,
them.
I know,
Or-
and I like
Tim-
I
John-
guess
Tim-
we already know he's gonna survive 4.
Yeah,
course,
obviously.
Or until
Yeah,
he
thanks.
says,
Yeah.
I'm sick of this
Yeah.
character. I'm
Well,
not
Tim,
playing
use this as incentive. You got to watch 2 and 3 now.
I know.
Yeah. So okay. So we're mixed on that, but overall, I love it. I can't wait. We got to do our weekly tenant update. We, we've been talking about it every episode. So it's coming out in 2 weeks. It's doing the
Coming out in 2
international.
weeks.
It's coming international.
Christopher Nolan's a defeated man right now.
Oh,
in
he's
his
got to be
house
just
somewhere.
rolling over somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just.
he's-
so
Well, he's
angry.
not. They're not gonna make the money they
Coming
want.
out. There's no fucking
Well,
movie
it's coming out
theaters.
internationally in 2 weeks, and then a week later, it's going to come out limited to theaters here in America.
Right, and
Good luck.
AMC already said that they were going to open. They gave a date. They have like those special air units or whatever. They're ready to go, and they said they're going to open with Tenet and the New Mutants.
At full capacity.
no,
Well,
I think at like 30%.
Oh, that's rough.
Nah,
Good
dude,
luck.
they're better off
Hey,
waiting.
That's what I'm
he-
saying, like,
Nolan
you run
doesn't
a
care. He's
movie-
getting his 20%.
Run a movie in the theaters for as long as you can. As soon as it stops churning out profit, put it immediately on fucking on demand to get the rest as much.
Like
out
you
of
said,
it
the
can.
foreign, it's going to hit right to the bootlegs. That's going to be the biggest problem too. It's going right to the
dude,
bootlegs.
like, Mulan's gonna be so bootleg.
It
It's
is.
gonna make like
It-
$30.
I-
You're gonna be the only guy that pays.
I'm gonna
for
be the
it.
only one paying for it. Yeah, I'm gonna be the only one. All right, Mike, you mentioned it. New Mutants. We've been talking about New Mutants for 2 years. We've been talking about it since Portchester. New Mutants is finally coming out. I think it looks awesome. I'm hyped for it. I'm glad it's getting some sort of release. Let's see what happens with it. You guys you guys think you'll stream it? You think
I'm
you know,
indifferent.
Is it on
Yeah.
demand?
No, it's coming to theaters. They told the exhibitors we are giving to the theaters whatever ones are open. New Mutants is coming. We're giving
I'm
you
not.
New Mutants
I'm
at the end
not.
of August.
You have to wear a mask in the movie theaters.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm
Yeah.
not honestly. I have no problem with wearing a mask, but I just don't want to wear a mask for
During a
2
2-hour
hours.
movie. I agree
I'm
with you.
sure, like,
I just
you
don't
could
feel-
go in there. They say you go to the gym, you have to wear a fucking mask. No one does.
No,
They wear a mask when you walk in, and then shit. They
Yeah,
pull it down
when you
or
take
whatever.
it,
Some
yeah.
people do, some people
True.
don't. If you're social distancing in there, unless somebody makes a fuss about it, which will
Right.
happen.
It
somewhere,
will. Yeah.
Karen will.
And
Yeah.
there's gonna be
Yeah.
somebody putting it on Twitter.
Whatever.
Okay, also notes. We're all big Fresh Prince fans. They officially announced the Fresh Prince reboot coming off of that dramatic YouTube
Yeah, that kid,
video.
just remember that random kid who
He
made,
he made it,
a good
and
trailer.
we'll know what the key was. Will Smith saw it.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Well,
saw
hold
that.
on. That kid that made the trailer is gonna be.
It's his project. He's putting the
Oh,
project
okay.
together.
So you know,
yeah.
I respect that.
And they got
because-
Quincy. They got the team. They got Quincy Jones and all the people who made the
Quincy
original.
Jones?
Smith is
They're-
producing
yeah.
it, I think.
How
Yeah,
old
the-
is Quincy Jones?
He's like 70-something, 80 years old.
No, he's in
But
his
what's the story?
90s.
It's him in Philly.
It's a dramatic version of him coming from
but
Philly.
it's just a
Oh,
one-time
God.
movie.
No, it's a show. They said they're already pitching it to streaming services.
But
They
what
said
are
Netflix and HBO
including?
already.
So it can't. We already know what happens when he gets there.
Quincy Jones
Right.
is 87.
Wow, I didn't know.
Quincy
So
Jones
this is
is the
gonna
one
be
that
his
gave
hard
Will
life,
Smith, like,
his hard life in
career, yeah.
Philly before his mom sent him off to Bel Air. Is that what it is?
Well, no, well, they're covering the whole show.
But
They're
they,
gonna
but
do
it
it.
eventually has to stop when he gets there because we see the first episode when he basically.
Yeah, but I think
gets
they're
there.
going to do that show, but it's a show we know in a dramatic way where it's just not
It's
as
the same
silly.
thing
and
as
it's more
Unsolved Mysteries. This is
Yeah.
stupid.
I feel
I
the
love
same
They're
it.
just trying to cash in on the name.
The trailer
Exactly.
was done well. For
The
like a
trailer, that's the thing.
fan-made
The trailer was great. Will Smith's on board and Quincy Jones is on board. I'm going to check it
I
out.
love the Fresh Prince.
It's one of my
Yeah, it's
all-time
one of the
favorite
greatest
shows.
Fucking
TV
love
shows
the Fresh
ever
Prince.
made.
It is, and I just don't. Sitcoms don't have that same
They
No.
don't. They're not the same
No.
anymore.
feel. So
this will be
it's-
done after 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And we'll forget about it.
I hope
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next thing.
Milan.
Unfortunately.
They'll be like, hey, remember Fresh Prince of Milan? And the next thing I'll be like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be- that would be
Unfortunately.
bad.
Fresh Prince of Mulan.
Yeah. Frank, you wanted to talk about real quick. We started watching The Umbrella Academy. That's been the hype.
Yeah,
of the
that's
last
something
2
you guys
weeks
should
on-
check out,
on
man.
Netflix.
It was something that I saw the trailer originally.
Yeah. So people talking about because the second season just came out.
Like the trailer, I'm like, just I don't know. You see like a fucking talking monkey.
Yeah, it
it
looked
was
weird.
a weird shit going on.
It looked like a weird
All about
X-Men.
it is shit, like when I'm working in a city, I see it on the side of buses and on top of cabs.
Dude, it
It's an interesting take.
I watched it the other night. I watched the first episode. I was like, oh, it's pretty good. So I watched the second one.
It's different.
And I'm 8 episodes in now in
Yeah.
4 days.
I watched
Got
3
you.
episodes last
Yeah.
night.
What is it?
It's basically like a group of kids that'll have superpowers. I'm really shortening it for you.
So,
and
yeah.
they adopted by this
43 women gave birth on the exact same day in a certain year. Out of nowhere, they weren't pregnant, and then all of a sudden they were pregnant and gave birth.
Like
Immediately.
Immaculate conception.
Yes,
Right.
But that day they got pregnant and gave birth that day, and then this guy, eccentric billionaire, adopts 7 of them. He tries to help them channel their powers.
6 of
and
them
so
have
on,
powers.
So on.
And you just see like them growing up and their life and what's going on.
Yeah.
They're different.
So-
it's like a different take on the X-Men because they're like it's called the Umbrella Academy because that's the name of the guy's
And it's
mansion.
based off a comic book,
Dark-
which
yeah,
I did
dark
not
one.
know,
Yeah.
and that made me like, okay, maybe this is.
Great music. The
Yeah.
soundtrack is phenomenal. The show starts with
I
the
don't
Phantom
like
of the,
the mixing.
Opera.
The mixing on it is horrible, but the music is really
yeah, the
good.
tracks. The show starts with the Phantom of the Opera on violin. Awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
That grabbed me right away.
Vanya.
Yeah, Ellen Page. She's really good in it. All right, so another thing, real quick. Did anyone here watch American Pickle and The Tax Collector, the 2 big streaming movies that came out in the last 2
Tax
weeks?
Collector was the Shia LaBeouf.
That's the Shia LaBeouf one.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't.
But let me tell you, both these movies are stunningly mediocre. I would tell everyone out there, don't even watch them.
Really?
Oh,
Shia LaBeouf isn't making a comeback from this?
listen, he was good in Honey
He
Boy.
tattooed all those real tattoos on his
You,
body for
you
nothing.
never even see it in the movie. You see the tattoo on his chest for 3 seconds, which in a scene where I won't ruin it, but you
Get
see it.
the fuck
You don't.
out
He wears a
of here.
suit the whole movie. He's wearing a full, nice
Is he
suit.
supposed to play a Hispanic?
So here's the thing: people got at him for doing like the brown face thing. I'll give him credit. He's not doing that. He's just a white guy who grew up in that. So he has the accent and he's got like the Mexican, vibe, and then he's got the haircut. But he's not. That's the thing. He's not pretending to be Mexican.
Is he white? In
He's
the
a
show?
white guy who grew up in that culture, so he would have the accent and talk like that and act like that. And he's a crazy guy in the movie. He's a psycho. He will kill you in a second.
I would think I wouldn't.
The movie is so
he
not
could
good.
play a
I
wouldn't think like
he played it good.
He's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
Can't do that in 2020.
I would say for like $8, it's
He's
not,
crazy.
don't even rent it. It's not.
Oh hell no!
I was disappointed in it.
I'm not
I was
renting
stunning.
that.
It's so bland. It's a typical like gangster revenge movie where it's like they kill
Stupid.
I gotta kill your
When
guy.
I look at that, I kind of think, I don't, maybe subconsciously that it's like it's like the new Uncut Gems.
It's trying to be like that gritty kind of thing, but it's not.
even Steven's gonna come and kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Uncut
He plays
Gems.
it well, but not a good
It
movie.
was good.
I
You
liked
thought his
it.
role was good in it.
I thought his role was interesting, but he also.
I'm
here's
not
the
watching
thing,
this
He was
movie.
not in enough of the movie, and I'm not going to go into any story thing, but he's not the star of the movie. The other guy on the poster, Bobby Soto, he's the star of the movie. Shia's not even the star of the movie. He's the co-star. Shia's in like 60% of the movie.
Did he couldn't have got paid that. Great for this one.
Listen.
Nah, this is like a low budget.
Yeah, it's a low.
thing,
It's a
right?
David Ayer low budget, probably $30 million movie.
And if it's not that good,
But even that's a
is
lot
his
of money.
career over?
no, he did good
No,
in Honey
not
Boy.
at
now.
all.
No. He's
I
just,
think at one point I thought his career was over. He was like going crazy. He was getting, He was
Yeah.
getting
He's out of
beat
his
up in
fucking
bars.
mind.
he
and
showed up at
shit.
this award show with a bag on his head.
Yeah. You
But
know,
he's a good. I think he's a good actor.
I
He is good.
agree. I think he.
I was
he's
disappointed.
got a- I think he's
track
like a
record.
natural actor.
He's got a good.
I sent you guys the trailer for this a month ago. I was hyped for this movie. I hate to say it stunk.
He's got a good track record.
American Pickle, no good.
American Pickle was also no good. It was a funny little concept. Seth
Oh,
Rogen
it's
did
a
a good
Seth
job
Rogen thing?
playing the 2 characters, two versions of himself. But again, it's one of these like 85-minute little short ideas that just didn't pan out, and it's not that funny. It was kind of just dumb and dopey.
Was his accent okay?
Yeah, the accent. Like
Stern
him
was
playing.
like saying how good rates is the accent.
Yeah,
was.
like that's the thing. Him playing the 2 versions of himself, fine. But I don't think there was enough of a story here. It just didn't pan out. I would say again, it's free on HBO Max, so
You're
if you
gonna
want to check
review
it out. I don't know. It might not even be worth the time. It was not great. It was lame.
So give it a bad review.
Yeah, 2 lame movies. I say very
Really?
disappointed. I thought these would be 2 fun, solid movies
Can't
in
be
the middle of
worse
the summer.
than fucking Long Shot. That movie was maybe the worst movie I've ever seen.
I thought Long Shot was decent. All right, so last thing of the night, Mike. You wanted to talk about this last time. We were able to watch The Abyss.
Yes.
We got to sit down a few weeks ago and sat down.
Yes.
So what were your thoughts that you felt, going into watching The Abyss again? I was watching it for the first time. You were watching it for what, second, third time?
No, a millionth time.
Oh, really? You
This
watched
is,
it more
yeah,
than
no,
one
this is a movie I love. And again, it's James Cameron. This is very early James Cameron, right after Aliens.
Yeah.
The success of
1989,
Aliens.
Ed Harris.
Finally gave him the clout to be like, all right, I'm going to make a movie I want to make. And this was his least successful movie, although it did turn a small profit.
Right.
But, what I tell you about James Cameron is like most of his movies really push Hollywood forward, like technologically. A lot of people say it's George Lucas, but it's really
Sure.
James Cameron.
It is. That is true.
And The Abyss is a perfect example of this. This is pre-Terminator 2.
Yeah, and it looks even for 1989, it looked amazing.
The effects hold up very well.
That's
in
the thing
This
I
is the movie you were telling me that you think he got the idea to do the liquid robot from.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's
the thing
clear
where
as
the
day,
alien is yeah.
ILM did the effects.
Oh, ILM
very
did it.
similar. Yeah, very. They also did the liquid robot in Terminator 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, ILM. So
You could see- you could see
Yeah,
the
but this is early.
inspiration.
This is 1989. This was out in theaters the same year Batman 1 was with Michael Keaton.
No, I'm saying ILM is George.
Yeah. Well, they're also the best special. Or they're like the premier effects
Yeah.
house.
Well, he created ILM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a really good movie. I
see
told
what
Mike
you're saying.
the only knock I had is that I just wish I saw it earlier because you lose a little bit of that magic seeing it 30 years later. If I saw this movie in 1989, I would have fallen out of my chair.
A lot
But
of
seeing it
people
now, it's
did
like, oh, it looks
yeah.
really good, and oh
No,
wow,
but
like
it still holds up. It's
So,
got great acting in it.
great acting.
It's got an interesting story.
I
and-
love the ending, which I won't go into.
There's a lot of movies that just don't hold up. So
Yeah.
it's good that it
Yeah,
holds
no,
up.
this
Yeah.
one does. This one
And
does.
there are some that still do, but yeah, I gotta see. You guys are talking about this. I gotta
Yeah.
I love Star Wars. They
Mike's
They
got the
hold up.
DVD, so he could let you borrow
Episode
it.
1 holds up well.
Star Wars 1?
Yeah.
Oh, episode 1?
Yeah, 99.
no. I'm talking about like A New Hope.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking
They're
about that.
old
like,
movies,
those are
but
really
they
old.
do.
just him.
I think
fights.
those. Yeah,
Right.
but that's sometimes that's Luke. Like Luke to me, like angrily just constantly bashing on Vader is more effective than like a beautiful ballet of like this dance.
Yes, but
like,
remember, the
fight
argument has
scenes.
always been these are two Jedis at the top of their game.
Dude, I
these are
love the
two
fucking
Jedis at the
prequels.
elite
It's
of their
Luke
power.
and Vader.
I love the
They're the
prequels.
most powerful.
But they're
out there.
yeah. I get
Vader's kind of a diminished older robot at that point, and
Right.
Luke's
As
not
a
even
new
really
master.
A Jedi yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just like Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan
like,
and
does that like
Anakin are
I think
premier.
they hold up well.
They do.
prequels.
No,
I
the
don't know. I
prequels.
never liked the prequels, and I tried to. I really
But
did. I told you, like I went
the
to see
prequels are good.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about like
The old ones, well, just looking at effects, you can't watch the original
Mark
anymore.
Hamill's when he
Like-
found out that I was his father.
Yeah, the
Whatever.
Scream.
The
No.
Scream, like that was.
That's
like,
one of the most iconic scenes in movie history.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go and watch the original 1977 movie release of A New Hope. He redid
It's
it all.
unfortunate.
You
Yeah,
can't
it's
watch
unfortunate.
it.
I
You
know.
won't let
But
anybody
the
see
stuff that I watch A New Hope all the time still.
Yeah.
And
I'm
still
not
think
saying
it
I
holds-
don't-
Like
I'm
the
not-
effects hold up pretty well. You're talking about more like the cheesiness of.
Are you
like,
talking
70s.
about the stuff they added though?
The
Like,
stuff they added is
I
sometimes
don't
like
think that holds up.
No.
I think the original effects
Yes, I agree
hold
with
up.
you.
I want
I
to
still.
see.
the worst thing that I'll shit on them for is Jedi's Boba Fett's fucking lair when those stupid
With the clone.
aliens
Oh,
do those
yeah,
song
yeah,
and
and they're
dance.
singing.
Oh, the
yes.
part. Yeah.
That's fucking
And,
terrible.
yeah, and it's not blended well. It sticks
It's
out.
horrible.
So
It looks like a cartoon.
You showed me. We watched it a couple years ago at your house, and I'm like,
It
well,
looks-
this is worse than I remember.
Yeah, it looks like a
awful.
fucking like Space Jam cartoon. Those aliens are done so bad.
Yeah.
But his reason for doing those is to see if he could do 9 the way he wanted to do.
Yeah, he was testing in the
He
waters.
did those first.
Right,
he did those
right.
like in the early 90s.
I get it.
You're right.
But yeah, you can't see
I
the
thi-
originals anymore.
Yeah, and I would
And
like
I don't
to.
even remember if I ever saw them.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
You see, it always turns into Star Wars. Every one of our shows, we always get Star Wars in there. It's
But The
perfect.
Abyss is, I think,
Yeah.
a great movie. It's great acting.
Awesome.
It's suspenseful, and I think it's one of the most ambitious film shoots.
Yeah.
The
It's
making of it.
The underwater. Oh my
Yeah,
god! It's like you
it's-
said, it's amazing no one died. making
Yeah, I
that movie.
agree. It's
The underwater. I would have been.
and his
Great.
movies are like that. You look at Titanic, the behind the scenes stuff. It's the same thing. It's amazing nobody died while he was
Yeah.
making it.
Yeah,
And
great movie. Definitely
I'm
worth
glad
checking
you
out.
liked it. I'm glad you
I
liked it.
really enjoyed it.
Michael Biehn, Ed Harris, good, solid
What year
performances.
did that come out?
89.
89.
And it wasn't like a huge hit or
What was
nothing.
his first directorial debut?
He was fired off Piranha 2, but he's still credited on it. But Terminator 1.
That's his first.
Wow.
That's basically
That's-
it. Yeah.
You can't be better than that.
Yeah. No,
Right.
he's the shit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So with that, we're gonna wrap this up for the evening. So we'll remind you, come check us out on YouTube. Like, comment,
Subscribe, all that kind of good
movies.
shit.
Just type in movies that don't suck. If you want to see us on Instagram, it's movies that don't suck with 2 Ks.
Any topics you want us to talk about,
some-
any movie,
Yeah,
shows,
message us.
whatever you want us to talk about.
Anytime.
Let us
always,
know.
Always looking for ideas. If you want to hear the audio of our podcast, we're on Anchor, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, anywhere you get your podcast platforms.
We got to get this
We
guy
there.
Quinn on the fucking show.
Yeah, I know,
somehow,
right? We gotta get Quinn on
somehow,
these great stuff.
somehow.
So guys, just
Where's
reach
he
out to
from?
us, on there. And with that, I'll say goodnight. Tim, thanks for coming on, man.
All right, guys.
Yeah, Frank,
thank you.
Mike, thank you.
Always a
Danny,
pleasure.
Shout out to Danny.
Dan-
Shout out to Danny, of course. All right, guys. See you next
Shout
time.
out to our sponsor, Knob Creek.
All right. Take care.